Stream up, starting the stream.
Hey,
Something
man.
about the devil's word. It looks like we're reporting. We're reporting live from the ski slopes of Calgary, Canada. With these lines.
Dun, 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 dun.
Remember when the Olympics were in Calgary? That was a big year in my life. It was like in third grade.
Yeah, that was a badass Olympics. I remember. Our bobsled team went really fast that year.
That's where I fell in love with the ski jump. Remember every Saturday morning, the
agony
thrill
of defeat.
of victory
The agony of defeat.
and the agony of defeat. Okay. Hello. Test your mic. Test your mic.
Test 1, 2, check 1, 2, test 1, 2, check.
Sounds
1,
good.
2, check.
Sounds like magic.
Yes.
I'm going to change this over to that.
I should probably look at some show notes.
Meh. They're not that great.
Hey, you just got a man award, man. You should be proud of that.
No. That's not what the award was.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Whatever, guys. or
Whatever.
something.
The
Yeah,
whatever award? Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
What'd you get? I got the whatever award.
Well, that's cool. You can play a lot of shows. Yeah, but it's also just kind of like, whatever.
I mean, it's the whatever award. It's not that cold in here, but yes, we are wearing scarves. Skip this version. Hit a rack. Let's see here. I need to take that out of the rack, don't I? We don't need that anymore.
Sir, you hardly know her.
Shoot the garbage. Shoot the shit.
Okay. Thanks, Bren. Appreciate it. All right. You ready to start this thing up? You don't really need to look at the show notes. They're not that great.
They're whatever.
They're all right.
They're
okay.
whatever.
They're whatever.
I can't
They're
remember
whatever.
what you said. Did you say they was it they're whatever?
It's
Was it that?
Yeah. Whatever. And the whatever award goes to Cutthroat Conspiracy. Nah, whatever.
I'm fucking bored, man. Boredom's the first step on the road to relapse.
Hello, Doug.
This episode of
Hello.
the
Guidance Last Kicker.
is brought to you by
Geist Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
And
This
visit Fort
program
Worth.
contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
For I am a sinner in the hands of an angry God. Bloody Mary, full of vodka, blessed are you among cocktails. Pray for me now, and at the hour of my death, which I hope is soon. Amen.
Amen.
I need to get Mandy watching Archer.
I haven't
What's it streaming
watched the
on?
last few seasons. FX, whatever. Is FX on Hulu?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Isn't that what We Do in the Shadows is on too, right? Put it on Hulu.
Yeah. Whatever. Hey, Susie.
Fast, fast, do you like it? How much more can you take? How hard, do you like it? How much more till you cry? Body ache. Fall fake. Penetrate. Does fucking hide by.
It is show 509. It is January 24th, 2023. We are now in the year of the rabbit. So, if you're emailing the show, please sign off as in the year of the rabbit. We haven't gotten emails lately that's like in the year of the horse. Remember?
That used to be a thing.
It used to be a big thing.
It's
But instead-
some more in my head. Let me get some more in my head while you talk about this band.
Well, this band
Hey,
is
hey.
called
Hey.
Element 80.
Yeah.
And they just played a big show at Tulips. They've got a show coming up at Granada, but the reason I had them at the beginning of the show is to remind you that this Saturday is the Ridgely Metal Fest.
Oh, yeah.
The return of the Ridgely Metal Fest.
Metal Fest. Metal. Soft with more metal than you can ever handle. More metal.
So why don't we do monster truck commercials? We totally could. Or wrestling commercials. We need to start getting into that voiceover work world. We need to line that up, Matt. Let's do that. Do some voiceover work.
Yeah.
Probably been talking about it forever.
I need to revisit something with you after the show.
Uh-oh. Whatever. Is
Yeah,
that what we're-
whatever.
But Metal Fest is back and headlining the show on the main stage on Saturday night is Lockjaw. And just before them is Low Gear. Bands we've all played shows with. Dispositions are on there.
Seen them a few times.
Secret of Boris is on there. Mile Zero, Driven Below. This is I like really want to go, but then am I going to be the old man narc there? He's like, look at that guy, he's a narc.
Nah, I don't think so. There'll be some
Look at that
other.
creeper guy with the camera.
There'll be some other dudes there with cargo shorts on.
Well, I was gonna say all of us. I mean, all these bands look like us now. I
Yeah.
mean, we're all the headlining bands.
That's what I'm
Negative
saying.
263. I mean, we're all the same age. So
You would see. I bet you'll see a few cargo pants and cargo shorts.
Well, I hear some pinch harmonics happening.
Yeah. There'll be some pinch harmonics.
Anyway, so Saturday, Ridgely Metal Fest. I'm excited. Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Happy Tuesday, Dustin.
How are you doing on this Tuesday?
Doing well. Very, very well.
It's a cold, wet, nasty, dirty,
It's very damp.
very damp.
Very rainy.
We got threats of snow.
We do?
We did.
Oh.
And then those quickly petered out.
Meow.
I saw some flurries earlier when I was driving back to the office at work.
Yeah.
But yeah, those all quickly petered out. I was waiting for a call from you being like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to drive in this weather. It's gonna
To the
freeze."
show?
Yeah. It's going to freeze. We're going to have to put
Gotta
it off.
batten down the hatch, man.
There's a cloud coming.
There's a storm on the horizon.
It's a coming.
You gotta look out, man. Are you a real cowboy or are you a fake cowboy?
Cowboy.
This is
cowboy.
real
Did I tell you
cowboy
I counted
stuff.
the last episode? How many times I said it?
Was it 72?
It was 23 times. Cowboy was said.
Now, you need to go back and see how many times it's visual.
Oh,
Like the word cowboy.
cowboy.
Yeah, cowboy.
Written on something. Cowboy
Right.
tough. Do the commercials count? Like
What do you think?
F-150 truck. It's for cowboys.
I wonder if Kid Rock's song or a Yellowstone episode says cowboy
More?
Which one?
Well, we could quickly count up the Kid Rock song, and I know that it said it 23 times in the mid-season finale. Which, can we get over that shit? Thanks, Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead did that to us.
If Walking Dead,
You know,
left
I
us
thought
with
this was going to
anything.
be the last season of Yellowstone. Now it sounds like they're talking about doing a lot more.
well, we got to go to different years, right?
Yeah. They got to come to
Uh,
Dallas and start Dallas. Have JR, man. I'd be a walk. What do you call them? Not a walk on, but like a
I'd be Bobby.
what do you call it? Where you're just in the show? I'd be in on that, like we were supposed to with that one with what's his face?
With that.
The one where he goes, "Baby, she gonna die."
So
What was
if,
that 1832 or something?
Yeah.
Or 19 whatever.
Where the daughter
Baby, she
died.
gonna die.
So if I take out that one,
That's a terrible way to tell your wife that your daughter's gonna die.
she gonna die.
Baby, she gonna die.
The Kid Rock song "Cowboy" says "cowboy" 28 times. So Kid Rock wins.
Just
And
by a little.
Just by a little. 23 to 28.
Dang, man. Now, we'll see. We'll continue to monitor it.
We'll continue. We'll watch.
Yeah.
When the mid-season picks back up and we got to watch. Because now it's like you're invested. I gave up on Walking Dead.
I'll find a Kid Rock like live extended version of Cowboy,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see.
Oh, I've seen that
Yeah,
in person live
right.
a lot of times. Yeah, you want to be an extra.
Extra. Yeah, that's
you
it.
want to be an extra.
I'd be an extra on Dallas, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Dallas. You know they redid Dallas for a little bit.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
Like
I had a
with
few
some of the
buddies
same.
that had their art on the wall.
You
on
know,
the
I
Dallas
heard
TV show.
in the over the seas to the east that's a big question that people ask Americans is,
Is
oh,
Dallas?
you live by Dallas, how like, oh man, you like Dallas, what do you think about JR, all that stuff.
When I was in the land of Kenya doing Kenyan things,
Mhm.
there was a little bit of JR brought up and,
And Dallas Cowboys.
riding horses and Dallas Cowboys and Spurs and cowboy hats. A lot of people asked where my cowboy hat was. Did I bring it
Would
with
you
me?
just tell them, man, I forgot it, sorry.
I was like, yeah, I couldn't get it. It's hard to travel with. It doesn't fit nice in the overhead.
So
yeah.
I went to a wedding over the weekend.
Yeah.
And
How'd that go?
one of the it was nice. One of the family there came, and his hat was a nice felt hat,
Yeah.
and he had like a little guitar case for it that you get.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know that was a thing. So when you travel with your cowboy hat and you still want to cowboy up because you're feeling the cowboy feeling,
You put it in a guitar case?
you put it in this little hat case that it looks like a guitar case. It's like made for a hat.
Really?
Yeah, that's how you travel with your cowboy hat.
Huh. Interesting. You gonna get a cowboy hat? We talked about this in the
Me,
past.
I'd love
about
to get a cowboy hat.
Need to get a good one. Need
Yeah.
to get a good one.
I like
I need
some-
to get a good pair of boots.
I like the I do too. I need some formal boots.
Yeah. I want
didn't
some
have-
with the cobras coming up
Oh yeah, man.
on the toes. That'll be hot
yeah.
and sexy.
The curly ones that the cartels and stuff wear.
Sir. I don't talk about them on this show.
We really are probably going to have to stop talking about them. They're a little too close to home with everything now.
I don't like how Howard
How
wouldn't
would
talk
we
about
talk
the
our
mob.
way out of that?
Like Howard Stern would never talk about the mob. I don't ever want to talk about the cartel.
Maybe we should just cut it from our vocabulary.
Susie's on the money. She's like, it's called a hat box. Ding dong, not a guitar case.
A hat case.
A hat case. So you went to this wedding on Friday, and we're
Yeah.
sending all sorts of pictures of exotic vehicles
Yeah.
and exotic locations.
I
and
was going to
everything.
take more pictures, but then I forgot.
The drinking start early.
We were sneaking it the whole time we were out there. So
Were you not allowed to drink at this venue?
you could if you wanted to pay for it, but this couple didn't want to pay for it.
Oh, so everybody just snuck in a flask.
All right, which is dangerous.
It is dangerous.
So, yeah, I took a picture of the basketball court
Mhm.
that's right next to below the bowling alley,
Mhm.
and then
Above the Ferrari storage.
right of a full, like, I don't know, man, 24 car garage maybe, and there was a Range Rover, a Bentley, oh no, a Rolls Royce.
I've got one.
And
of those.
then a Ferrari that was covered up, and then another some other SUV like that badass Mercedes one.
Why are these at a venue? Does someone live there?
I have no
how does
idea,
this
man.
work? Because
I heard it was the dude that made the chip, invented the chip,
the
not
potato
the
chip. Like what? What? That guy's dead.
Well, I guess he had a
What chip?
the computer chip or something, microchip, first microchip or something like that.
What?
Yeah, he worked for what's his face, Ti, and
Well, that is close to
what's his
IBM
name?
land.
What's his name's Ti out there in was it Plano, Mesquite,
Texas
wherever?
Instruments?
Yeah, Ti. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know how many more times I'm going to say Ti, but
T.I. the rapper?
so this
That's
house
T-Pain.
was like
I can't
I
do
don't
this
think he
anymore.
lives
It's too
there
fucking
anymore.
hot.
Are you? I'm still cold. The dude doesn't live there anymore, so he rents it out for events and stuff. And I guess I don't know why he's left
Just
it there.
leave some of his cars behind?
I guess so.
That's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, but he's making some good money off that event, that place.
Hell yeah.
The so
You want to make good money? Build you an event venue and just when wedding shit happens, you can just charge 9 times normal what it should be.
do you want to come to America?
You need to learn to
and
speak
Americanese.
Americanese.
Yeah, man. So
don't
this
think I have
place
that
was
anymore.
like a cool place and everything, but I think if I had that much money, I would have updated a little bit because it has a real gaudy like Trump would live there or something type feel.
Because rich people don't understand.
Yes, just because people are rich doesn't mean they're good interior
They're
designers.
terrible designers and decorators. Awful.
Yeah,
Not everything has to be marble. Tacky.
no, it was, and some
Yeah.
of the stuff that you could tell they put in. Instead of they took some of the customization of the house out and just put something that was sturdy for an event place.
Yeah.
So that was kind of you're like, oh, and it smelled bad, man. It smelled like
Has anybody been murdered there?
it's surely there's had to have been someone murdered there,
'Cause
right?
That was what was great about the Cullen Davis Mansion. Once it became an event venue, you could always go.
Yeah.
People were murdered here.
So it's musty too.
That's death.
It's like like they're covering up death with some bo.
I found out this week that if a woman stinks, you're supposed to
That's
tell her
death.
she's got musk.
Are you supposed
She's
to go,
not stinky. She's got
like
some
a
musk.
buck?
Yeah. We're not rutting. Hey, baby, get out back. We're gonna rut.
musk? Musk. What a weird. What's the difference between must and musk?
Mm,
Is one like good and one's bad?
yeah,
One's for the stank,
that's a polite way of
and
saying
one's
musk.
for you smell good. Like
Yeah.
does Matthew McConaughey's good smelling musk? Is it must?
Well,
then?
that's what it is. It's basically you're being kind about bo.
Yeah.
You're saying you got a musk. You've got
Got
a
a
body
nice-
odor coming off.
I've
of
got
you.
a nice musk. Is there any?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Donald Trump thinks he has a nice musk.
Gross. Mustard musk. I am drinking hot chocolate. Chat room's asking me what I'm drinking out of this new cup I got out of my my box, my little nomadic box. It's my new little camping cup. It's hot chocolate with nothing else in it.
Hot cocoa.
Just plain hot chocolate. Well, while you were doing that, I was working my ass off, so I didn't do anything on Friday. We had a massive. Get this. So, not everything in this world is fed off fiber optic yet. There's still copper cables in the ground, especially downtown, that feed businesses and stuff. Well, a group of homeless guys,
Oh, great.
they were genius. They set up a tent on top of one of the manholes in an area that is just off a road, and cut a hole out in the manhole. Cut a hole out in the bottom of the tent. Lifted the manhole lid, and went down and just started cutting cables and pulling them out. Well, most of them were abandoned, but then they got into some that
We're active.
fed half the hospital district, knocked down part of Cook's Children,
That's like all hands on deck, huh?
knocked down the post office downtown, which has a Homeland Security office in it, which was all sorts of chaos. So it turned into all hands on deck. But it was genius the way they did it. Like, I was like, that is fucking
Impressive.
cool. And the asshole guy that did it
Yeah.
walked by and asked, hey, man, because we had taken the tent and pushed it off and kind of crumpled it up. And he walked by one day and was like, you guys going to be using that tent? And they were like, yeah, it's evidence right now. You can't have it. 2 days later, he had taken it and put it up where his nice little encampment is
Yeah.
up there because we saw it sitting up there. Like, this motherfucker. And it was this guy. We knew it was this guy. I mean,
Same
he
dude.
had, you could see stuff. Basically, there's a trail of cable debris leading to his tent.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome, but it made me work my ass off all last week.
So did they go grab him? Like throw him in jail or anything?
You can't prove you can't 100% prove anything. 'Cause
Yeah.
he had an accomplice that had hauled all that stuff off. Usually what they do is they cut it all, because this happens on the south side of Fort Worth a lot, down by Dickey's.
Yeah.
They'll cut a bunch of cable, throw it in the back of a truck, and haul ass off. And they'll take it somewhere and start stripping it and breaking it down to get to the copper.
Man, that is so bold.
Very bold. Very, very
I don't think
bold.
I have the balls to be homeless. I couldn't pull that shit off, man.
We're going to get into something here in a little bit about how much of a man you think you are. And I guess that breaks it. It's kind of a preview. You don't have the balls to be homeless.
Yeah.
I guess that
Segment's over.
that segment's over. But Saturday, did a little getting out of town touring action. Went out to Granbury, made way towards Glen Rose, Hyco, and
Glen Rose, Texas.
was chasing a comet around, but spent some time in
Is that thing still up?
Glen Rose Granbury for a while. Yeah, it's still up.
Cool,
Drove
I need
by
to go
the
try to
two-
see it.
Drove right by the entrance to the two nuclear titties on the south side, or Granbury,
Is that a new strip club down there or something? Or
the nuclear power plant.
there's not a club down there called Nuclear Titties?
There needs to be. What are we doing? Let's buy some land and fire one up.
Dude, we'd make millions.
It'd be like the titty
Gajillions,
twister
dude.
in what's the name of that movie?
Man,
Dusk
there'd be,
Till Dawn.
you know how many bachelors we'd have so many bachelor parties and stuff and like just pay
Hey,
Ubers
come on down
amounts
the
of money.
nuclear titties.
Yeah, where you going? Nuclear Titties?
Well, I want to go.
Boy, I'd go down there.
Girls
I'd
come
go
out.
down there for sure.
Girls come out in radiation suits and they slowly strip down.
Dun, 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 dun. No, they wouldn't dance to that.
No,
It'd probably be trap.
I don't want to be a mannequin. I don't
Yeah.
want to
Or
get
some
a
Post
mannequin.
Malone.
I don't. No, just all mumble rap.
No, it probably would be.
It probably would be, but I mean, I think we're onto something.
Yeah, Nuclear Titties.
Copyright.
Yeah,
JJTM
what's
2023.
The what was it?
The
The
Circle
with the
C,
Circle
Circle
C,
Pound.
Circle C,
Yeah, Circle C.
Circle Pound,
I don't know. Just
Circle
shit.
Pound. Sounds weird.
And then Sunday we had the Cowboy game,
Mm.
and we didn't even talk about the last Cowboy game, where Tom Brady got his pants beat off and
Because we
cried.
knew this was going to happen. We were like, we're not going to
Kinda
get into
did.
this. So.
Yeah, we didn't want to get into this. I didn't think they were going to beat the 49ers, but it was a closer game than I thought. But I'm done with Dak. I'm done with Zeke. Get him out of here. Tired of him.
Yeah, and Kellen Moore.
Tired of him.
Get him. Keep the defensive coordinator and keep the head coach, and then man, start
It's time to start a fire
chopping
sale.
some. I don't know, chopping some wood. Can you say chopping heads, or is that going to get us in trouble?
You can say that. I don't care.
Chopping some heads.
I'm done.
Yeah, we have this talk every year.
We do.
We do.
But I'm
This is-
done with those two
yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they've
I
had enough.
loved
All three of those guys that you just mentioned, or that we mentioned, they've had their opportunity to prove to us they have something.
the
can get
greatest
us
thing about
past
that
where we
game.
got X-nayed.
I don't think Dak can do it. So
I don't either.
Nope.
I don't have confidence in him. I don't have confidence. Damn sure don't have confidence in Kellen Moore. And Zeke,
looks
man, I
weak.
don't know what Zeke's deal is, dude. It's like, I don't know if he's hurt or what, man. He's just lost so much of his, he's lost 3 steps, it seems like.
the best thing about the game was the final play where he just got pile drived into next week.
Yeah, I didn't, even,
Into
I
the
don't think I
ground.
finished it. I just walked away. I was like, I'm not watching this
did?
crap.
Like walking away from an explosion. You were just done.
Exactly.
There were 30,000 people at the watching party.
Yeah, I
the
saw
stadium.
that on the broadcast. They showed it a couple times.
And fights broke out like crazy.
Saw some of those on that Twitter, or not Twitter.
Dallas
that-
TV.
yeah, that and
Dallas TV has all the cool
Public
shit.
Freakout.
Oh, and Public Freakout.
Hmm.
I don't understand. They're all wearing the same gear. Did someone say that they were done with Dak and someone got pissed off and then they just start fighting? You
I don't
think
know.
alcohol was an issue in any of this? Will you?
No, there was no way that alcohol had anything to do with it.
None of the fighting
Mm-mm.
at all.
No. I'm sure these were completely sober gentlemen and gentle ladies that were not being so gentle that day. What an embarrassment, man. Like, dude, come on. I can't help it. I gotta fucking sound off a little bit.
Go for it. I'll sit back and relax.
Man, I don't. It's like every year we're saying the same thing over and over again. It's like nobody. It always seems to me that ownership gets to walk on this stuff every time. It's like, man, back in the day, we would talk about not going to games to make a statement to the owners.
That
You
will
can't do that
never
anymore.
happen.
You can't do it anymore.
It'll never happen
It
with the
doesn't
Dallas
mean anything.
Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, that
Well-
can never happen. There will always be someone that will want to go take
Right.
that ticket.
Exactly. So it's impossible.
Yeah.
But man, dude, this has been torturous. Like this whole thing that I think Dak's major problem is obviously the horrific injury. I think after that, he has not really been the same type of Dak. As far as consistency and speed. His speed,
Which injury? The one
the
last
one where
year?
his leg went the other direction.
yeah,
the
that
backwards
one.
leg, man.
Yeah, backwards leg.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That after he came back from that, man, he was shell shocked. He doesn't have he. I don't think he's ever had faith in his offensive line like he used to. It's just I think it's in his mind some, and he means well, but unfortunately, man, I think he's headed to a team as a second string quarterback pretty soon.
I thought you were going to say the glue factory. He's headed to the glue factory. Time to put him down.
Like take him out to the pasture,
Yeah.
train
Time to set him
station.
down.
Train only Cowboys take to the train station though.
Take him to the train station.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like it's this. We're saying the same thing as always. It's like I unfortunately, I'm right there with you. I think we need to move on from
Zeke's
from
a waste
Zeke,
of time.
Dak,
Annoying.
and Kellen Moore. I think it's time to move on.
I think it is too.
Hopefully, we'll hang on to this badass defensive coach, man, that we got from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? I always forget his name, man.
The one that's going around shopping for head coaching gigs. This
Oh, I'm
week?
sure he is.
Yep.
I would. There's
Yep.
no way I would get stuck here in this shithole. Anyway, that's my
I don't-
rant.
The reason I don't think anything's ever going to change out there is because, yes, the NFL has changed since the Cowboys won all their Super Bowls, but it doesn't matter. They're making money hand over fist. No matter what type of product is on the field, people still
It's all
fucking
the same to them.
show up and will still the thing we've talked about several times on the show, the out of town family that makes a vacation trip to come down here and see the team.
It spends that much money.
spends
too.
that
Like
much
a
money.
vacation's worth of money.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just
And it's not like he does appreciative things to the fans. It's not like he'd have dollar hot dog night like across the street and do cool stuff like that, cool promotions for his fans. It's always like, dude, give me him. He's always wanting money.
what do you mean? The watching parties were free, man. You didn't have to pay
Oh,
to get
yeah.
into those. Those were free for you to come and hang out.
True. I guess I should be more grateful.
30,000 people in that Miller Lite Lighthouse trying to buy beer and food. Nightmare. Lines. A zillion people long.
Surely they brought
A
in more
nightmare.
food trucks than they usually keep out there, right?
About 8. So yeah,
So they were also hungry. So that led to
Angry.
they were
They were
hangry
hangry,
and they were drunk
and it was a losing team. They were
Yeah.
hangry, drunk,
and they're pissed.
and they're pissed.
There was a lot of domestic violence last weekend.
Oh, they already said that the
I
stats are
guarantee
through the
you,
roof.
man. Oof.
The stats on Sunday night shot through the roof.
Shot through the heart.
Shot through the roof. Anyway, that was the weekend.
Yeah. It was a downer, man.
It was a downer.
Freaking.
That's where we are.
I did like that game, though, the Buffalo and Cincinnati game. That was cool. I love snow playoff football.
Snow games are the best.
Yeah.
Period.
The best. And then when they're
Um,
in the playoffs, too, that's like a bonus.
James, singer of the
That's
Spectacle,
like extra juice.
and I were talking in text that we were going to try to figure out a way to bring snow blowers into and snow making
one game?
devices into every stadium during the playoffs. Every game needs to be played in the snow, even if it's
or
like
mud.
if it's
I like muddy games too.
yeah. If the Cowboys have to go out to LA and play the Rams in playoffs,
Yeah.
you fire up the snow machines. I mean, I know it's LA, but you got to have it. Be awesome. Snow everywhere. Every game needs to be played in snow in the playoffs.
Why stop there, man? Just do all the extreme weather phenomenons. Like, let's do a sand stadium where they have to play in the sand, and let's do one that's on the beach.
Golly,
Let's
can you
do
imagine
one
the injuries and
Yeah.
sand. Good God.
heat exhaustion and stuff. Well, so and so died.
They'll
had
never-
We had another heat exhaustion.
There'll never be a Super Bowl in the elements again. I don't think they're done with that. I think it'll always be in a domed building.
Well, didn't they have one in Minnesota a while back, and they kept it open, didn't they?
Well, that's when Prince played.
Yeah. Was it?
Was that one?
I don't
No,
remember.
he played down in Miami.
Was that the one where his butt cheeks were out,
That
was
was
that
the
the
MTV
Olympics?
Music
Oh.
Awards.
or the Olympics?
Prince played the Olympics.
How great would that be?
Been awesome.
And he had that suit on that made his with his butt cheeks sticking out.
the,
Oh my gosh!
The leopard pants,
Dun,
leopard skin pants.
Dun 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 dun. dun.
Well, Matt,
Breaking news
we do have a major announcement today
today.
that we can talk about. Why did that stop so quick? Good God. Is that how long that file is? That sucks.
You gotta have that under you, man. It better be a story when you come in with that one.
Well, how about we just fire off this one? You ruined it. Yes, we have a major announcement. Your two favorite podcasters that you're listening to or watching right now, or maybe we're not your favorite. Maybe you're just listening in because you have desires to take over what we do,
they have
and to do it
internet
better.
at their house.
and they have internet.
Oh, what the?
What happened?
All of a sudden it turned to Jaws.
We're turning.
Boy, this thing's not getting off the ground very well at all.
That was weird. I've never listened to that file all the way through. I didn't know it did that. We are representing, or we are going to represent the city of Fort Worth on February 17th, 2023. That was
Yes.
perfect.
That was.
Visit Fort Worth is having their annual meeting down at the convention center. And it's going to be chock full of local celebrities and local musicians and
I'd go ahead and
A
say it
local
sounds.
chef?
It sounds like we're a quite an attraction to Fort Worth.
we're going to be quite an attraction.
It sounds like we already are, man.
yeah.
Sounds like, hey, if you roll through Fort Worth, you need to
Well,
check
I mean,
out these guys.
We do get emails every once in a while from our friends overseas that are like, wow, you make me want to
or either that
come
or
to Fort Worth now.
You'll just shut up now. Those friends,
Not those friends. The British
Yes.
friends that are good.
you'll shut your mouth now. Please do not utter that name
They'll be
or
like-
words ever again.
Where we're simulcast on BBC Radio 1 or Radio whatever, Radio 7,
Yeah,
the Ocho, Radio 8.
I want to know where our royalties are from that.
I would like to know where our royalties are. We need
Like
to buy
it's-
some shit for the studio.
Yeah, is that so? Do they pay their radio shows over there, even though it's got to go to the BBC?
I don't know. We
Because
need
we
to,
hadn't got a check.
we need to talk to our lawyers about that.
We need to talk to the Queen. Nope. Eesh. Sorry.
But I think that's pretty
Too
cool.
soon.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Sorry about that.
I think it's pretty cool. We're going to be one of the representatives in the world of podcasting, showing off the city of Fort Worth, talking about it. We're going to sit down with our buddy Andrew Turner from
Dice Clay.
the Fort Worth Roots podcast. He's been on here several times, a couple times. We see him out and about,
Very beautiful podcast.
and then we're going to see just what
that
happens.
was a good one, wasn't it?
That was a good one. The email that was sent today before the show is still kind of vague on what we're going to be doing. I guess we're just going to sit around and do our normal dick and fart jokes, but for the
A
mayor
live studio audience.
and Tim Love,
yeah.
who might punch me in the face. I don't know.
That's
We'll see.
it's cool because I'm working on a security detail
That is, if that works out, that'll
made
be awesome.
made from the great felt hats of Fort Worth.
We'll have a team
Police department giving us some extra security.
standing on each side of the couch.
Why do those
What's
guys
happening?
need security?
I
Who
don't
are
know.
they? Who are those guys? Oh, just some dumb. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, we also have another announcement that we're gonna maybe break next week. Our
You're teasing.
attorneys, our lawyers, and their lawyers are still
You're teasing another announcement?
yeah,
Man,
crossing T's and dotting I's.
you're
And this
becoming a
one's
professional.
pretty big. This one's pretty cool. I mean, representing the great city of Fort Worth at the Visit Fort Worth annual meeting is huge, gigantic. But that's a one-off thing. This one is a long-term thing. It's going to go on and on and on and on
Oh,
and on
yeah, I know what you're talking
until
about now.
everybody's tired of us or we just piss off the wrong people or something. But yeah, the lawyers are still fixing a few things. We want to make sure things are lined up right, and the negotiations are going very well though.
Basically, our background checks. What we're
The
waiting on.
background checks.
That could be a while.
Do you know how many background checks I have going on right now? I got to go get my license redone on Friday. That's a pain in the ass. And then I have to renew my passport because it's been 10 years. That's a pain in the ass. So many background checks. Then the Homeland Security had to give me a background
Just so
check the
you
other
can
day.
go to that
Yeah.
nude resort in Vui.
I'm going to hedonism.
Yeah, so they're
And
checking
so
all
I
your.
can Vui.
That's no. That doesn't count, man.
You want to Vui? Down in
Can I Vui
hedonism?
you? You too. You look
Is that
very,
Jamaica?
very friendly.
Is that where hedonism is? Is it
Mm.
Jamaica?
Oh, is that the place that we did the segment on where you like go to this island and it's like
All the sex you want?
yeah, and
There's, like,
all the drugs, all the
all
sex.
the drugs, all the sex, all the meth. I thought that went out of Vegas.
yeah,
Some joint out of Vegas.
yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think so.
You think there's some voing going
There's
on where
probably
they
some
go?
voying. Probably so. Probably so.
I'm just here for the voy. Don't mind me. Mine sounds
Um,
like Ronald Reagan a little bit.
They're creepy.
I'm
it
just
okay?
here for the void.
Hey, mommy, can I come over and voy you? Isn't that what he used to call Nancy Reagan? Was mommy? Weird, huh?
Did he?
Yes. He used to
Ronald
call her
Reagan used to
mommy.
refer to Nancy as mommy.
As mommy.
Mommy,
Not that way. Oh,
I will take
know,
some milk.
me and mommy
More
were
milk, please.
standing at the window watching Pennsylvania Avenue.
That's
and
weird.
voying.
Man, if Biden
to-
starts doing that, yuck.
Gross. You see him grope a
Gross.
little girl the other day. In that video, that was weird. That guy is. There's something fucking wrong with that guy now. I thought it was elder abuse. There's something going on there that
Yeah. It's
there's
It's
been
weird.
too many, like one or two videos where you accidentally touch someone in the wrong spot, or you accidentally grab something not looking or paying attention, but you grope like a 16-year-old girl while you're kissing her on the cheek is weird.
yeah, it's pretty weird, man. What about that dude that did it to his son's girlfriend during the college game?
The son's dad did
The
it
son's
to
dad.
the girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Anything come of that?
The
Like-
Georgia quarterbacks.
Right. Did we find out what happened? Like, did that blow up?
I don't know. That disappeared. I don't know. That was weird.
It's very weird, and there's probably some conversations had up there. I imagine it's pretty
Mm.
intense ones.
If we can go back to Texas for a minute, and Fort Worth, I'd like to talk about a story. I got two stories here that are locally based. I'd like to get into with you. Light pollution. Do you know what light pollution is? This is a big player for me.
Me?
Yeah.
It's city lights
Mhm.
and how it affects darkness
Mhm.
and how exposures work and all kinds of good photography stuff.
Well, it gets in the way of photographers because if you're trying to take astrophotography, you can't do it in our city of Fort Worth because it's horrible.
Screws it all up.
Screws it all up. But there was a study done, and Fort Worth has the lowest measurement for light pollution in the United States, ranking the 9th best city for stargazing. out of 30 international cities.
That's cool.
Still can't see shit.
No.
And if we could sit down with old Maddie and talk to her one day, I'm going to tell her we need to change the whole light scheme of downtown. These little round bulbs on every building. Let's do the LED setup like Dallas does.
Yeah, they
That
gotta,
way we can change the colors up for different events.
yeah, the skyline in Dallas is awesome.
Rules now. It used
Yeah.
to suck. It used
Yeah.
to be a piece of crap.
It's like, look at
Now
that
it's
dirty
awesome.
city.
Yeah. It looks great.
It is awesome.
It's like Vegas, but not Vegas.
It's not in Vegas for sure.
Yeah. It's Vegas, but you're in North Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I want. I want all our lights updated in
It'd be cool.
DFW. And that way, when it reaches a certain hour, maybe we turn them all to like deep dark blue so the light pollution doesn't bleed off.
There you go.
You bring them down.
If I was in charge, just to piss people off like you, I would do it like a Dillinger show and just be like,
Truckers
all this
driving
just
at night
freaking,
have
like,
seizures.
strobes going all over Fort Worth.
Dun,
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 dun, dun, dun.
dun. But I thought that was a cool little interesting story here, and that they're trying to do different things with the light pollution here in the city of Fort Worth, trying to make it a little better. But yeah,
So what do you all can
Fort
you
Worth
do?
is still a class 8 to 9 on the Bortle scale, and when you get out to Big Bend, you're a sub 1.
What scale is that called again?
The Bortle scale.
Bortle.
It's how much light pollution there is in
Yeah.
the sky, and it's how much.
So
you
what
can see
all
through the
can you do
atmosphere.
besides just tricking up your editing and your exposures on the camera and stuff when you're dealing with that kind of stuff
You
in the air?
go someplace else.
Yeah, you just go somewhere else. huh?
There's no reason to shoot astro stuff.
So what
downtown.
are they?
You can
so,
shoot deep space stuff because you can shoot through. What you're doing is
So what would the city of
shooting
Fort
through.
Worth be able to do?
like I said, if you could figure out. Well, lately they've been turning off all the lights on the buildings because of the bird migrations. That's supposed to help the birds. I don't understand, but okay. I figured the birds would want to see the outline of a building to stay away from it, not smash into the glass. But whatever. I'm not a aviary scientist, but
That's a very unique way of seeing it, though. It's like I understand what you're saying. You got a good argument there.
yeah.
I
mean, if I
completely
s-
understand.
If I fly in an airplane out of Meacham and I can't see the buildings,
Mhm.
and I don't know they're there, I would just smash into them because I don't see the outline of the building. If I see the outline of the building, I can make the airplane fly over it.
If I was one of these what breed are we? Pigeons? Or are we geese? Or what do you want to be here?
I think they're Canadian geese.
So we're sitting there cruising, and all of a sudden, son of a bitch!
Yeah,
Fuck!
your beak's all beat in.
Oh my gosh!
You can't eat fish
I'm
anymore.
suing the city of Fort Worth.
I would.
I'm like, dude, this is it.
I'd go put a coffin on Maddie
Zip.
Parker's lawn.
I'm sorry.
That seems to be what you do in a protest. So I think I'd put a little baby duck in it. Little baby geese.
Like a tub duck?
yeah.
A rubber ducky?
That's what you do. If you're going to sue the city of Fort Worth.
Yeah,
seems to
those-
be the thing.
The birds, they need to go to bird law school.
There's a lot of things that need to go to bird law.
I've been watching It's Always Sunny again.
You're bringing it back.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back.
Some bird law. Next up is something I came across last week, but forgot to bring it up. But the Texas Barbecue Trail is firing off. We're in that season. I guess you're always in barbecue season, right? You can eat it at any time
Texas for sure.
in Texas for sure.
If you're a cowboy,
If you're a cowboy, there's 50 places to go
cowboy.
to on the Texas Barbecue Trail this year, and they're divided by region. And I want to hit 2 regions for sure. I want to hit our region, which is the North Texas region. We have, I think it's 10 stops up here, maybe something like that.
got to go to Hurtado right by my house.
Yeah, I've already been. It's great. You want to run through this list? See how many you've been to?
Sure.
Barbecue on the
Yes.
Brazos. You ever been there? In Crescent? It overlooks the racetrack,
I'm not sure.
the Crescent Motorsport down between Granbury and Benbrook. You've been to the Crescent?
Yeah,
track,
I've
haven't
been
you?
there.
That's where
I
we're
have
gonna go
been there.
race.
Yeah.
This one's right by you. 225 Degree Barbecue.
I have not been to that one.
That's on Main Street in Arlington. I haven't been to that one either. Dane's,
Been to that one.
been there.
Very
Hurtado,
good too. Have
Been
not
there.
been there.
you haven't been to that one?
Mm-mm.
They just opened a new one at 8th and Rosedale in Fort Worth. Hutchins Barbecue in McKinney.
No.
I don't spend much time in McKinney. I try not to. So, but maybe
That's
I'll
a
go
little
up there.
bit too much, Chick-fil-A and Adderall, like mother PTA mom type area that I try to stay away from,
PTA implanted PTA mom
yeah,
on Adderall.
yeah. I don't.
That's what it
that-
is.
That's a hard
Yeah.
task for me to go into a place
Not
like
into that.
McKinney.
Not into them. Next up is Panther City Barbecue. Been there a lot.
Mhm.
Now this one you got to go down to Sulphur Springs. Slaughter's Barbecue. Is that
Mm,
Sergeant Slaughter?
Could be.
Could be. Wrestler.
Maybe
G.I.
his
Joe?
royalties have run out with GI Joe.
Maybe. Smokeaholics Barbecue over on Evans Avenue. I had them for the first time last year.
What'd you
Freaking
think?
fantastic. So great.
Where's it at?
Over on Evans Avenue off of between south of Haiti, Rosedale area right through there, south of Rosedale. Great
might-
place.
I might have had that. Is it?
It's freaking awesome.
It's right off of 820. Like
No, you
one
gotta
block
go back
over.
one block over and back
Yeah.
up in there. Oh,
And there's like isn't
Evans.
there like a taqueria that's next to it that's really good too?
I think so. And then an
And
insurance.
it's real
place.
old school. Like
You can get purple drink there.
yes, I've
That's
been
it.
there. Yeah,
If you know about the purple
Smokeaholics.
drink, you can get it.
I've had it.
That place is great.
Really good. Really,
really,
good.
really good. I tried to get Jeff to go there because it's close to his house. That place is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And then Smokey Joe's Barbecue on R.L. Thornton in Dallas. I've been there. That place is great. On this list, though, I got to go with Hurtado, beating everyone.
So is this
love
this is a
Hurtado.
competition,
No,
or is
these
it
are
just,
just places for you,
need to go when you're in North Texas?
Yeah,
I
and
like
if
the
you,
list.
If you subscribe to this website, which is txbbqtrail.com, you can collect points, and when you collect so many points, you get to do something, get a shirt or I don't know.
I'm in.
So if you go to Central Texas, which is the Austin area, I'm not going to go through all these. I've been to a couple. Agape Barbecue kind of freaks me out when I hear the word agape. Some people get weird by the word moist.
Yeah,
I get weirded out by agape.
a gaping, like a gaping hole. That gives you
That's what it
crazy
leads to.
crazy face.
Yeah,
A gaping hole.
a gaping hole.
A gape
A gape.
barbecue.
Agape Barbecue. But I want to scroll
That's
down
a
here.
weird type of barbecue.
There's quite a few places to go, of course. Austin, barbecue mecca. But I just want to scroll down here, and right next to you've heard of
That's a barbecue tuna melt right there.
yeah, you've heard of Snow's
Uh-oh.
Barbecue, right?
That took me too long.
Snow's Barbecue is like the mecca in Central Texas.
Snow?
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
the place
I
you
remember
go.
him. Informer.
No,
It's
it's not that guy. It's not that guy. But Snow's Barbecue down there. There is, people
got
camp
cooked
out
off
like
of
at
it.
3:00. Eric and Dante just went down there, did a little trip,
Yeah, I saw that
in
on
some
the
of these places.
Facebookers.
and they got there at like 3:30 in the morning when it was 40 degrees outside just to get barbecue. But if you look right by Snow's Barbecue, there's a little place called Rollin' Smoke Barbecue. They made the list.
Just
Not any of the other little trailer huts around Austin, but Rollin' Smoke.
we know of these guys.
1108 East 12th Street, Austin,
Mhm.
Texas. I can go ahead and check them off my list. I've had them.
Me too. And we'll continue probably.
And we'll
I mean, I'll try to see
continue
the
anytime I've
other
done that.
places. I'd like to try them, but
It's just hard to go to other places when that place is just so damn good.
yeah. And the dude's cool.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, Kyle.
Kyle, we
We
love
love
you.
you.
We love your place. You have good barbecue.
We
I
love-
just thought that was
we
awesome
love
to see
your
him on the list.
sauces. Your sauces are super.
Now, we're going to be making a trip. We've talked about this out west. And there's a couple of barbecue places. There's 4 on the Western Circuit. One is in Marfa called Convenience West Barbecue. One is in Marathon called Brick Vault Brewery and Barbecue. And then we're not going all the way to El Paso or Pecos, but we may have to knock 2 off this list. Maybe.
When we go to
Maybe.
the Bend,
When we get the bins,
the Bends,
we're going to listen to that at night.
have to.
We're already putting albums together that we're
It's
going to
really weird
listen
too.
to at night
It's really
under
weird.
the stars.
It's already gotten weird.
Real weird. But I'm excited. This is,
Are we gonna pod when we're out there?
well, you can. We should. There's going to be a lot of potters
Sounds like
out
the
there.
beginning of a horror flick.
There's going to be a big group of potters out there. We
They
might as well
went
pod.
out to camp
They
and do
never
a
made it back.
podcast called The Massacre
The
Show.
Massacre Show. So that was txbbqtrail.com. Go check them out.
And
It's pretty cool.
It's almost like an app.
It is.
Oh, it is an app?
I don't know. I'm just saying that. All right. So yesterday I got consumed by something, and I want this to be the main
This is
topic.
very
of the show.
random. Very random.
I want this to be a long topic for this show.
I don't.
I want to have
I want to know too, because I want to know why you spent so much time on this.
I want to.
What happened?
So I'm cruising through Reddit, as all good stories begin.
Mm-hmm.
And I come across this photo, and the photo kind of freaked me out. And apparently this guy is pretty famous. His name is Green Boots, and he wears a pair of green mountain boots, and he's dead. He's a frozen dead body up on Mount Everest, and he is used as a marker or a pit stop. I found out that since a lot of people were talking in this thread that the picture's an old picture. They have removed him and taken him somewhere and buried him. He's not there anymore. But he apparently died in the 90s. And when you die on Everest,
End up staying.
you end up staying because above, I forgot what it was. It's 24,000 feet to the top of Everest is considered the dead zone.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when you make the climb to the summit, it's one shot or not, and because you don't have enough oxygen or you have just enough oxygen to get you there and get you back to where you can recover. Has this ever interested you?
At one time, it did.
Seriously?
It did at one time, but the more
How old were you?
I was pretty young, like in my
So like
I
you're
would
a
say
kid,
in my
I want to be an
20s.
astronaut. Oh, when you're
my 20s, maybe close to my 30s. But then once you get to you really start looking into it and all these cool documentaries that come out and stuff, and you realize how risky it really is to do it. It's kind of faded, and I tell you what, the crowdedness too. Like you see pictures every year of like 1,000 people,
a
a
conga
line, and that just seems unstable to me. Like I don't want to do it like that. I had these romantic visions of me like I'm by myself,
being
and-
all majestic.
and I have the flag with me, and yes, and my Sherpa's there, and my bros are there, and they're like, yeah, man, we did it, and that's about it. I don't have any desire to go up there with Fred, Frida, and Farrah
Why
to
not
have
all
a good
Fs?
time and pop a bottle of bubbly.
You don't have time to do that.
Mm-mm.
You don't have. So I didn't realize that climbing up there is such a short journey. You have such a window to get it in that you don't have time to get up
It's-
there and take a bunch of photos and
Right.
celebrate and have fun.
It's hey, touch it and leave.
Touch it, take
The
a couple
little
of pictures,
monument thing.
look around, and go down because that altitude, how taxing it is on your body, and how much stuff starts setting in, and like you have to keep moving
Yeah,
because
see,
they say if you stop and rest and sit down, if you don't have the mindset that I'm only sitting here for 30 seconds before I get up and keep going, because if if you don't keep that going, you'll die. It's it. That's done. Everything just starts giving up.
That leads me to more of what I'm talking about. Like now, when you see how crowded it is, all these like Silicon Valley millionaires and shit are doing it, and it's got this long ass line. Like there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong, and then who's to say some fucking nut jobs like I'm going up. I'm like pushing people out of the way and stuff, like some psychopath. Like there's a lot of stuff that could go bad with that many people trying to do that amazing feat all at once.
So I don't give a shit about climbing the mountain. I never really have. I would love to go over there and go through Tibet and Nepal and that part
Check
of
it
China
out.
and everything. Check it out.
Yeah.
India, and check that region out. I would love to see that. And they say that you can walk to base camp no problem and camp out there. Like people do that all the time, and there will be groups of people like hiking together to get up there. You can drive to base camp. You can rent a car from the local airport and drive up to base camp, camp out, and drive back down. But a lot of people will hike it, and I think that would be cool. Climbing mountains are no big deal. Like we have Guadalupe Peak here, and the tallest peak in Texas. I'd like to do that one day, but you're not climbing a mountain. You're just following a trail up somewhere. You're not climbing the face of a mountain or having to put on ice shoes and kick in and have a pickaxe and be roped in.
That's what I'm saying. That's
to
what
bullshit.
I want. I want that. I don't want a tourist attraction for cajillionaires. I'd rather
I just
have
want
the
to
pickaxe and like have the big spikes and stuff.
that's
and
what you
do
want.
that. Yeah,
like
by myself.
I just want to go up somewhere and chill out. And like Guadalupe Peak's cool. Emery Peak in Big Bend. I'd like to walk up there and check that out. A lot of those trails aren't too terribly packed because they're a little taxing. It is a climb, and if you're not used to it. But I don't give a shit about climbing K2 or climbing Everest. But falling into this wormhole of death, and I knew there were dead bodies up there already, but the stories behind them and how
they had
how much
Netflix.
trash and bullshit is up there.
Yeah.
Just led me down this wormhole, and I'm reading this Reddit thread, and I come across this guy, and I screenshotted everything. I want to read it to you. This guy, he said he's hiked from Lukla at 9,000 feet to above Everest Base Camp around 21,000 feet in 2004. At some point above the tree line, you start running across dead people or markers for dead people, and it just seems to continue. It becomes a regular sight. Most of Everest is mental, and seeing dead people at a regular cadence who died doing what you're doing right at that moment really starts to eat at you mentally, especially when oxygen gets low. 14 days of sunup and sundown hardcore hiking, climbing to get there. 1.5 days of only thinking about pizza and beer to get back down to Lukla. He said he was solo. He did all this, but and he says it's the most difficult vacation he ever had, blah, blah, blah. And people start asking him all these questions. And they're asking about the bodies, like how bad that mentally affected him, because there's hundreds of bodies up there. And he said, I knew the bodies on the trail would be there, but it was very numbing, really, to see them initially. After a few days, it bothers you less. Hold on. Did I skip that? No. Okay. He said, I was totally solo, and I mentally quit at 21,000 feet. I was totally exhausted and facing a mile of bottomless ice crevices to cross a glacier. I had just passed an upside-down Russian helicopter that had crashed years earlier and still had half a dozen dead and frozen bodies still strapped in. The pilot, the co-pilot, and all the passengers, it was a cargo helicopter, were just hanging there frozen, dead.
That's so
and had been
wild.
frozen there forever. So he said that, really bothered him. And then they started asking him about, well, how'd you get away with this? How much did it cost? And blah, blah, blah. And back then he said it was probably about a $10,000 trip, but he worked for Yahoo and was traveling the globe anyway. And he was between trips put him in to where he could fly into Lukla, Lukla,
I can't believe that Luca already has a mountain.
a mountain
Named after
named or a town.
Did you watch that 14 Peaks on Netflix?
I didn't watch that, so I came home because the reason all this Everest stuff keeps popping up is Disney Plus, National Geographic just put one up. And it's this whole story about this team is trying to figure out if these two guys in the 1920s actually made it to the summit before Haley made it there in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them had a pocket camera on them. And they're trying to find their bodies, because they never made it back down, to see if the pocket camera is still in there.
Sounds like something you could do with a drone.
Hold on. Hold on. So, the whole beginning of the show is them talking about it, getting it all set up. And the pocket camera is their goal. And in 1999, they came across, I think the climber's name was Galloy, and they found his body. And what it looked like was he had fallen. The story went that he fell, unclipped himself because of where he fell off the trail. The rope that he had, he pulled it too far. So he unclipped himself, walked a little further, and then just fell like 3,000 feet. And when they found his body, perfectly mummified, since the 20s, okay, skin, hair, everything is still there. They do a close-up of like the tag in his shirt, and you can still see pores. But what had happened was they showed his legs. His legs instantly broke, and the calves were blown out from him falling.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the tissue and veins and shit were all just like strings coming out of there.
Violent show.
And they're showing all this. I'm like, oh my God. So now they're after the guy that was with him. That's basically his assistant. They're like, the camera wasn't on him, but it should have been on the assistant. So this is what this new climb is. So in 2019, they found
And
where
they fell.
No, a Sherpa said he thinks he found him, saw him
Mm-hmm.
when the Sherpa was assisting with an ascent. When they were coming back down, because of weather, they had to take this other little route out of the way. And he's like, down in the crevice, we think we saw him. So this National Geographic team gets put together. They go back up there. They go through all the climatizing and working their way up, and they work their way from base camp to advanced base camp, then to North Col. And at North Col, they encounter 100-mile-an-hour winds. And there's a lot of candid features of video of them like sitting in the tent going, are we going to die? Is this going to blow us off the mountain? Well, apparently a tent got blown off the mountain, but the people that were in it were clipped into the rope, and they were flung out.
And the tent went?
And the tent went, and they were laying there until someone could come out and pull them back up this icy hill. And there is a shot of this tent going poof, off into space. Like just you're 20-whatever-thousand feet up.
Right.
Just gone. Just see you later.
Yeah, I think I'll do this in the VR world.
Yeah.
I think that's how I'm going to do
So-
my Everest climb.
They wait a day. The next day, the wind has died down. And for the first time ever, they launched drones on Everest. And
They just found a graveyard.
well, that was one of them. But they get this footage that's incredible. And they're flying them higher than Everest. And they're saying, this is the first time anyone's flown a drone at like 38,000 feet. And they're flying it all around. And they're going around and they're looking at this area where they think this guy was that they're looking for, and they get these shots that are incredible. But yeah, it's full of bodies. And they find this Japanese climber that people have been looking for that had slid off the mountain during a storm,
Yeah.
and they found his body, and it's just chaotic. Totally chaotic. So eventually in this documentary they go,
What's the documentary called?
I gotta find it. I meant to look it up before we came out here. But when they
There's another one that's out right now about an earthquake that happened while there was some climbers up there. You watched that one yet?
No, Lost. Is it Lost on Everest? Yes, Lost on Everest. It's on Disney Plus. Lost on Everest.
Oh, Disney Plus. I'm looking at Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. So, because National Geographic did it. But anyway, they eventually make their way up to find where this guy is, and they are videotaping everything they're doing and watching them run out of air. And these guys that are fit as a mofo just can't move and can barely move. But they go ahead and they go all the way up to the summit and then come back down and try to look for the guy. And I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. You're there to look for the guy, but you went ahead and were like, yeah, we're going to climb the 400 extra feet or 300 extra feet to get to the summit and hang out for a little bit. You're in the death zone for this long. Luckily, all of them make it back. But it does get a little hairy there for a little bit. And every time they go to like take a break and rest, they're resting next to dead bodies. They're just everywhere. Every freaking where.
Yeah.
But the day before they made their climb to the summit, the day before they did it was the day you're talking about, where the line was, the conga line. They were there
when
when
all
the
that was going
news
down.
started reporting all that, and they make a point like they're calling home or something. They're like, we're not in that line. Don't worry about us. We're
Yeah.
not waiting around like they are. And they do a time lapse at night of everybody heading out, because I guess the best time to head out's at midnight.
Yeah.
And you just see all these lanterns just all
Yeah.
taken off, and then the sun comes up, and you just see a rainbow of
What'd you say it was
clothing.
called? Lost in Heaven?
Lost on Everest.
Lost up in heaven?
No,
Lost in heaven?
on Everest. Lost on Everest. And they talk about the area called Rainbow Valley, or the Rainbow Valley, and the reason it's named that is because all it is the clothing of everybody that's dead. You just
Yeah,
see
I've heard that.
corpses everywhere, and
I think they talk about that in the 14 Peaks.
I need to watch that 14 Peaks. But that
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a fatality.
in the middle of it
I think so.
is
If
so
I remember right.
That's not the IMAX
Either
one, is
they're-
it?
I don't know if they put it out in IMAX or not.
There was an
It's about
IMAX
the,
one.
remember the one? It's the one where the dude like parties. Like he'll be halfway up the mountain and
I
like
haven't
decide
seen
that
that.
they just like are gonna down a bottle of whiskey and they start dancing and stuff.
I haven't watched that.
This guy's he's trying to set a record of hitting all these peaks. These
Yeah.
like over 17,000 or something or whatever there's only a few of these peaks that are out there, and he tries to do them all in a really closed-in time span.
So there's
pretty good.
The IMAX
Pretty good.
Everest is one of them, but the disaster that
I don't know if
happened
I've seen
in
that one.
2016, where a bunch of people died, there was an IMAX crew on the mountain shooting
Mhm.
another video, and they turned into a rescue group trying to rescue everyone. But that's where like a whole bunch of people died because they made a run for the summit and ignored the weather warnings, and they got up there and a blizzard showed up, and none of them could see their way back, and some of them froze to death just on the middle of the trail, and some slipped and fell off into the dark abyss. So that brought me to the question, besides would you do it? I'd never do it. I don't give a shit.
I would not do that now.
Would you? But you would have done it younger.
I would have probably, yeah, I would have said I was going to do it, but then once I found out all that shit that I was going to have to do, probably would have started doing the old Homer Simpson back into the bushes.
In the bushes, like, oh no. So it made me wonder, like, have you ever done anything to where you thought you couldn't, your body physically couldn't, you were gonna die, like your body physically could not do anything anymore? Have you ever been to
Well,
that point?
Yeah, when I was in the tornado in Palestine, when my dad and I got out of I couldn't get my door open. I physically couldn't push the door open, and when he kind of just pulled me through the cab of the truck and then kind of walked about 10, 15 feet. I couldn't walk. He was dragging me. I couldn't do shit.
Because your body just gave out.
It just was. I don't know.
Was
if
that
it
a
the-
panic thing?
I don't think so. I think it was the wind was so strong and panic all at once, and I didn't know what to do. My dad didn't really know what to do, so we got on the ground, and I remember it was a distinct feeling of, dude, we could get sucked up like at any moment, just like because it was like an F3 tornado.
Yeah.
It was a gnarly tornado. They said it would have killed a bunch of people if it had been on Monday. It was on a Sunday during the Cowboy game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same tornado hit my my house and almost hurt my sister and mom really bad because a tree fell in. One of them big ass pine trees fell onto them in the house. But that's probably one of the only times where I was like completely just helpless and like, and it was funny too because these Mexicans came and slammed into us right in the same parking lot, and my dad was praying like crazy, and you could hear the Mexican people that were next to us just praying like in Spanish, their native tongue.
Yeah. They weren't speaking American.
They weren't speaking American.
'Cause
over
they
there.
weren't American.
But yeah, it was cool. That was the one thing. And then the other thing that was crazy and dreamlike was just when we finally got up and it was just completely calm and light.
done.
Like done. Yeah, just completely done. And there in the scene, the wreckage scene was just, it took us like 2 hours to get to our part of Palestine, which Palestine's not very big.
Yeah.
And it was
it's not.
because of all the power lines and stuff that were down. So that was pretty surreal.
It took me a while to try to figure out like at first I was like, I've never been in a situation where I physically thought my body was going to give out. I couldn't do anything anymore. Like I had either reached the point of total exhaustion to where my body wouldn't work,
It's like you're
or like
spazzing, you're,
I'm just here and I have no control of this situation and I'm going to die type thing. But then I've nearly drowned twice.
That's pretty close to the feeling, right?
And that feeling of
helplessness.
I can't get out of this situation
Mhm.
and I have no more air left
Yeah.
is one of those things like, what the hell? And then miraculously, both times, it's like, I'm out,
Yeah, I had a drowning experience when I was a kid too, and it freaked me out. I remember that panic feeling. Remember, did I tell you I had a dream a few months ago where I got locked into some place that I knew no one was gonna find me? Like it was like some weird walk-in, like a beer walk-in or something that I went into, and I knew that it locked, and I knew no one was gonna hear me, and all of a sudden that feeling of, oh my gosh,
Oh,
I'm gonna
shit.
die here,
Yeah.
just came over me, and I was like, instantly got up.
What's weird is now thinking back on both those times is you reach a point, you're struggling, you're freaking out, but then your brain just goes, there's nothing I can do now. So you just like, you kind of just give up.
You know what?
And then all of a sudden, you
Man,
know,
A freaky
out of the water.
video that we kind of didn't talk about. I can't remember when we sent it to each other or when you and Jeremy and I were looking at it, was that plane crash. That guy was FaceTiming.
dude, that is fucked up.
That was.
Period. And that was in Nepal.
Was it?
Yeah, that was in Nepal.
Boy,
They
that was
have
messed
that is
up.
one of the. I went in and read a bunch of shit about that on the different pilot forums and stuff.
About what went wrong, and it was pretty common.
Well, engine failure, and when you're that low and you have an engine
Did you ever
failure,
see my
there's
comment?
nothing you can do. No,
I don't think the moderator approved it.
I don't. But engine failure, when you're that low, you have no. Everybody said you have no time because you're coming in on approach. They were coming into land, and the engine failed, and there was just nothing that could happen.
Man, the worst was the sound of that video, man. And the visual, just the chaotic visual flames and everything, and that terrible sound.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
Have you watched The Last of Us yet?
No, they're 2 episodes in.
Yeah, we're 2
I
episodes.
might
in.
start that tonight.
There's a plane crash in the first one. That's just real brief,
Mhm.
but it creeped me the fuck out because it's one of those things. The day's gonna come where something happens, and I think it happened in one of the Call of Duties. EMP goes off and planes just fall from
Oh.
the sky.
There's a show that's coming out that's streaming or something that's about to come out that has. Oh, is that it? That might be it. The Last of Us,
The
where
Last
they're
of
just
Us.
kind of tailing out like that, just stalling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy, creepy, creepy.
Hey, that freaking little deal that we had a couple of weeks ago, that could have been a lot worse. And man, there's more
You're
to
talking
the
about the
story.
grounding. There's a lot.
There's a lot more to that story.
Because okay, that day we had to make a run over to the west side of Fort Worth. Then we came over here to the east side of Fort Worth. So we ran over the west side of Fort Worth to do something, and it didn't click with me at the time, but they were scrambling planes out of
I'm sure they were.
the Air Force Base. There were F-35s, F-16s, and tankers leaving, and an AWAC, all left.
That's what I'm saying.
And
like,
then when we came over here, over here on the east side, we were at Carson and 183. It was completely quiet. No planes, no nothing there for a long time. And then
that was the
a
other
couple
thing
of
that was
F-16s
weird.
flew over, and you're like,
that was the other thing that was weird is they said, well, we've resumed normal flight service now, but there was still no planes in the skies for like 3 hours.
3 hours.
It's like they kept talking about it on the radio and on the news about how it was all over, but there still wasn't any planes in the air.
I was watching Flight Radar, and you can't see government planes on Flight Radar. You can only see commercial planes, and no one was pulling out of the gates.
Did we talk about our 3 theories, or was that something
I think
that we
just
talked
did it
about
in
off the
chat.
show?
We were talking about in chat.
So I have 3 theories that could have happened.
I have one, but
Has-
it doesn't make sense for it to affect the entire country.
Has any of it gained traction? Any of your theories in the last week?
No. So my only theory is that there was something going to fall from the sky, and it did. We had a big meteor hit outside of San Antonio that morning, right when they grounded all the planes.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have grounded the entire country, I don't think. There was also a lot of talk. People were talking that there was supposed to be a fairly large satellite fall from the sky, and that actually happened 2 days before that.
Was that the Russian one?
Yeah, it was
Or-
Russian or Chinese or Korean
Yeah.
or something like that fell, and it ended up burning up and landing in the ocean. I forgot where at in the ocean, but it was no big deal. But that was 2 days before. So
Mine was hacking, EMP, or a asteroid. Those were my 3. And the way it's just kind of gone away, just like that tent up on Everest,
just gone.
just float away. No one's even talking about it.
I'm gonna pull that video up, and you're gonna see it, and you're gonna be creeped the fuck out like I was.
But that doesn't help that all of a sudden now we're not even talking about what happened.
No,
I don't believe the explanation that it was just some fat finger, like someone screwed up with had a syntax
you don't
error or something.
scramble half the Air Force in the entire country because this wasn't. That's another thing.
And the thing with Canada.
Going through the forums
Mhm.
and reading all these pilots and people that know what the hell's going on.
Right.
They were like, no, they were scrambling them out of Nellis. They were scrambling them out of, whatever it is. But basically all the Air Force bases just
I'd like
started
to hear all those
launching
radio
planes.
calls.
Yeah. be
What do you think the
nice.
likelihood of that happening is?
No, better get your ham radio license. We're gonna need it. We're gonna
Yeah,
need it.
so you're in on this new show, The
The Last of Us. I never
Last of
played the
Us.
game.
I never did either, but
I'm not a PlayStationer.
Joe Sama,
Yeah.
he freaking loved that game. He always told me
The
that
game
it's
was
worth
great.
getting. He's like, dude, it's worth
Everybody I
getting a
know-
PlayStation 4.
Everybody I know that had a PlayStation and played it said it was one of the best games
Yeah.
ever. And that first episode is pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
it's
I
got
haven't
the
watched
dude
the second episode.
from
Now there's the issue
Mandalorian,
because he'll start whispering or talking,
and you hear
and all I hear is Mandalorian
and Narcos,
and Narcos. Yeah,
Mandalorian.
he doesn't talk Spanish in it, so I don't think it's Narcos as much as Mandalorian.
What if the Mandalorian went to Mexico?
I don't
That'd be
wanna
a good
take
episode.
The Mandalorian took on the cartel,
Yeah,
the Sinaloa cartel.
yeah,
That'd be awesome.
that'd be wild.
He was the head of the Sinaloa cartel, right?
Who? No.
Pascal.
Oh yeah, Pascal was
Yeah. He
But
was the
the dude. He was the cop,
who?
the one that's in
in the Colombian one.
the one that's in The Last of Us, he was the cop in the Colombian one, I believe. He was the
but
only
then-
I think he was the only character that carried over to the Mexican one, didn't he? Like besides the cartels, I shouldn't say bad guys. So you hear that, cartel? I didn't say bad guys. I said just let's move on.
I thought he was. I thought he led in Narcos Mexico. He was the cartel leader.
No, he was part of the DEA.
Oh my God!
Either-
Wonder Woman, We Can Be Heroes, Game of Thrones.
What are we talking about now?
I don't know. I don't want to look through all this right now. He's hilarious in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I don't think I've seen that.
That movie is awesome. Nicolas Cage just being a dick
Yeah.
is awesome. It's good, good, good.
What's that streaming on HBO?
Or torrent service. I
Oh,
don't know.
sorry.
Thanks for calling me out there. I appreciate it.
I like how you just threw us under the bus,
Thanks.
dude.
So, is there anything like Everest you want to do in your life? Like that's that extreme? Besides, I mean, that would require a lot of training, a lot of shit to do. Space would be mine.
Yeah, space would be cool. I'd like to ride a big wave. That'd be cool.
Like one of the giant ones, like the 100-footers?
I mean, not the
I don't
record
understand how that
breakers,
works.
but just a good big wave, like a 20-foot wave. That'd
I
be
get
cool
it.
to do.
I need someone to tell me how that works.
They pull them out with those jet skis and
A
stuff.
jet ski can't last against a 100-foot wave or 70-foot wave.
You can make a wrong turn and be in a sticky situation real quick.
You got a lot of coral down there too.
That's a brave sport. Those guys earn their living.
Drowning.
All of it.
Drowning. Yeah.
Your- all four limbs going in different directions.
I guess technically,
It's
if,
like-
if I wanted to be an F1 driver, I'd have to train and lose a lot of weight.
Did you
I need
ever
to be
see
about a buck 50.
Leclerc's pictures that I told you about, where it looks like he's on Mount Everest?
Yeah, he was climbing something weird.
Yeah, and it looked way up there.
Yeah. Surely he's not out on Everest.
Man, I don't think people tell that kid no. He's one of those kids that decides he's going to do something, he just goes and does it.
He's pretty hard-headed too.
Yeah.
So, do you have any desire to go deep in the Mariana Trench?
Yeah. That's another thing. I think I would chicken out.
Extremely dangerous.
I think I would chicken out for sure. But when you see those cool ass videos that they got down there and all that different world of stuff, it you're like, man, yeah, if they put one of those at Six Flags, I'll go on that.
Like James Cameron, that was his deal. He took off and went off down in there, and that was his passion for a while.
Are you about to
I'll get it
tie
done
this
to death.
into Everest with the trash on top and the trash on the bottom?
No, I was
picture
going to
that came
say
out?
because they said that if you were to put Everest in the bottom of the Mariana Trench, you would still have 2,000 or 4,000 feet above you.
Wow. Man, that's
Of
so
water?
crazy.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's funny is
That'll give you
everybody
the
thinks
bends.
that your parents and stuff were just making stuff up when they said that we know more about space than we do our own oceans. It's actually true.
Yeah. I mean, do you follow that Russian Instagram account where they're catching all these weird ass deep sea
I had to
fish?
stop. They were too freaky.
Dude, there's some stuff they pull out and they'll have videos of that like
Mhm.
they're poking this fish and all these different mouths open up on it. You're like, what the hell is that? Like
It's like an own choir of
and they're like, oh yeah, we caught
fish.
this in the Baltic Sea,
They're singing Bohemian Rhapsody together.
in the depths of the Baltic Sea, and you're like,
Mother, I just
What?
killed a man. Man, I can't keep a tune anymore. Man, I'm flat all the time now.
Mama. I don't have air capacity anymore. Thanks COVID.
Oh, I know.
So
It's everybody.
just losing it,
Mm-hmm.
losing it. And when I had the cough the last few weeks, that hurt. Couldn't breathe, and now I want to go climb the Emery Peak
Well, that
and the Lost Mine Trail down in Big Bend. I'm probably gonna be and have a
We're
heart
gonna have to
attack
have
and
oxygen.
die.
We're gonna have to have oxygen.
We're only going like
20 feet up.
5,000 feet. And
So
we're probably gonna have oxygen.
I saw a meme. Getting back, this is what I thought you were alluding to a while ago, or trying to bring us to, where it was trash up at the top of Mount Everest that I guess climbers leave up there, which is fucking. I can't believe that they allow that shit.
But you can't. You don't have enough time to clean it up.
Two, you just got to go nude then.
That'd be awesome. There's talks of a ban of oxygen tanks because everybody climbs with oxygen to get up there now, and it helps you out.
Mhm.
But they're talking about
Making it to where you can't do
you
that.
can't do that because
Just gotta
everybody
go
like
with a
their,
brown bag.
their oxygen tanks when they're done, they just toss them and plug a new one in because they're just these small little
Right.
cylinders like you
They're-
get at Walgreens. The
They're
little blue
trashing the
ones.
mountain, aren't they?
And they're trashing up the mountain like crazy. So they're talking about banning oxygen, and if you can't get to the top on your own
Then
lung
You
support,
can't play on this mountain.
then you can't do it. You're not a man.
Well, the
Or a
meme,
woman.
the meme had all the trash up there, and then had on the other side had all the trash that they saw. I think a couple of weeks ago down there in the trench, Marianas Trench.
Who's been down to the bottom of the trench? Like,
I'm-
have we
it's
all have
probably
we been
just like
all the way
the-
down there?
Like drones, like the robot
Robot
submarines. Robot submarines. Sounds like a sandwich. I'll take the robot submarine.
All right, take the Mariana Trench. Like,
That sounds like something you would pick out of a different type of place. Maybe that gaping barbecue. Maybe they got a dish called Mariana's Trench. That's a lot of meat.
there's some weird stuff
It's a
down
lot
there,
of
and you
meat.
know what? You know what's down
Just
there.
flappy meat.
You know what's down there.
The devil.
Uh,
Jason Momoa.
no. The giant squid
Oh yeah, all over the
that'll
place.
rip you to shreds.
Freaking Moby Dick's still out there.
You've heard the story I guess it's been a few years ago about one of our warships coming across something and it grabbing the ship and slowing it down. And when they got to dry dock or to port,
Right.
they got to look at the ship and there were crazy teeth marks and rip marks. And
Yeah.
huge wrapped around the hull of the bottom hull of the ship.
It's no bueno, man.
They're down there
Yeah.
and they're coming.
They're aliens too.
Yeah. They know.
Is
They're
it the
smart.
squid that are aliens, or is it the
Octopus,
octopus that are
both.
aliens?
They both
They're
are.
both aliens.
They both.
They're just down there plotting on us. You see the beaks of those damn giant squid too? It's like an elephant tusk. Hard as an elephant tusk.
They're evil and they're big
They breathe fire.
and fart rainbows. So there's only been about 20. So Challenger Deep is the deepest point known on Earth. It's 10,900 meters.
You gave me in a weird way. We're moving on. Look,
moving on.
like we can't get caught up on rainbow
Well, that doesn't make any
farts.
sense. The height of Everest is 32,000 feet.
How many Statue of Liberties would it take to get to the bottom of Marianas Trench?
29,000 feet is the top of Mount Everest, when the bottom of Challenger Deep, the deepest spot on Earth, is 35,761 feet. And there's only been about 20 people that have been down there. And I don't see.
I wonder if
Ding
anyone's
dong's
been
name
to
on here.
both.
Would that give them the bends?
Let's do it.
What if they just
There's our calling.
they started at the bottom and slowly made their way to the top? One long progressive trip.
Yeah. That's real deal. Started at the bottom, now we here.
Oh, there he is. I forgot. He's a Canadian.
Figures. He's done
Figures.
both?
James Cameron.
He's gone. He's been
No.
on okay.
No. He was the third person to go.
So if you were at the top
27
of
people that have
Mount
been there.
Everest and like didn't have gas, right? At all. Oxygen, nothing. would it be humanly possible to hang glide all the way down without dying?
I'm pretty sure. Well, the problem with the top of Everest is this is what causes the storms up there. It's in a jet stream.
Mhm.
You would hang glide, you would never come down.
What's the longest that anyone's ever hang glided? It's got to be around the world, right? All you got to do is follow the jet stream.
I don't know. There was a CSI episode one time where they got up into the jet stream and passed out and died because they didn't have oxygen. So you would have to have oxygen.
You just have
on
to
you.
stay away from that cap that they're always talking about on the news when they're talking about the weather.
Yes.
If the cap breaks, that you got to know where that's at if you're doing it. Stay
Well,
away from the cap.
they did it here in Texas. They went. It says here, Zapata, Texas, Dustin Martin and John Durand set off together on the 4th of July, 2012, with Martin flying his Willis Wing T2C and Durand his Moyas Delta Lightspeed RX-35. Powered by energy bars and drinks, both men beat the previous
That means
record.
cocaine and meth.
Yes, it does. They had an 11-hour flight that went 474.73 miles on a hang glider.
So that's not going to get you very far, huh?
I mean, that will get you to from here to Big Bend.
400 miles.
474. That
Eh,
gets you there. Or maybe from here to El Paso.
whatever.
I mean,
Whatever.
whatever.
I guess it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you got to keep the hang glider somewhere where the air's not too thin, because you lose.
That's what I'm saying. You would have to gradually come down, not black out, and get down in time to where you could breathe some air.
Well, if you ran out of oxygen, there's a quick way off of Everest. It's just a 7,000-foot drop into a glacier down below, and they show shots of that, and it's scary. It made my balls hurt.
That makes my balls hurt just talking about it. It's like when you're next to a big ship type hurt too. When you're standing next to a big ship, for some reason that makes my balls hurt.
Like a big cruise ship, you're walking by, you're like, man,
Like,
this
wow,
is
that
too big.
thing's really big.
What all makes your balls hurt? Like
That's
heights
definitely
make my
one of
balls
them.
hurt. Standing on a
Height-
cliff,
Height is another one
like
for me.
edging to an edge of a cliff, makes my balls
Edging.
hurt. Yeah, it's a whole.
You're doing it
ordeal.
wrong. You're doing it wrong if your balls hurt.
On Trashy Boners the other day,
You saw an edging video?
a guy just like shooting it off a skyscraper.
Oh no, did he get on someone?
I don't know.
We gotta know. He can't post a
Where-
video like that without letting us know.
I don't know about that. I don't think it was it.
Man, would you
Trashy
call in sick to work if you got jizzed on your way?
Boners.
Like walking under the Bank of America building and all of a sudden,
What
like,
the
oh
hell?
man, what is this weird? Oh no, it smells
Oh,
bleachy.
no.
Oh, it's salty.
It's like a
Ugh.
it's like a dried sock.
I would just
It's like a JJTM candle.
I would just run into one of the fountains down there in the water gardens and start bathing.
Why? That's probably full of homeless.
Because you got a man's jizz in your face.
There's probably
in your
homeless
eye, that's gonna
man's
cause an
jizz
infection.
in the water gardens.
True. But
Yeah.
you know you have a man's infection in your eye. You're gonna get pink eye.
I would buy an ox.
Yeah. Everybody's going, what the hell are they talking about?
Before we started the show, so I look into the camera. Matt decided to show me a
Disclosures.
video of a man living in the desert washing his hair on ox piss. An ox was
Ox urine. It
peeing
was like taking a shower.
straight out of its pee hole right into the man's hair so he could wash his hair.
Yeah. What if,
I mean, some
Maybe
people
that's
don't
why they
have
have
running
fabulous
water.
hair
That's
there.
why you got to do it.
that's their product. That's like their Sally's. An ox field. You
That's
go
your
out there, it's like
Sally's in the
Sally's.
Middle East?
Yeah, you get your product from out in that field.
All right. So
I like how you defended the character, though, the guy.
I had to.
You're like, this is getting a little too judgmental in here, guys.
This is very.
Oh, we're just first world problems here, guys. I see. You don't know what it's like living on the streets of
I've never been there. What country is that in?
You don't know about bike.
I don't know about.
They got
Mumbai.
ox. They got ox showers there.
Wow. Jeez. So today, a very important fight took place in our nation's capital.
January 6th.
This is the January 24th fight.
Oh,
The United States versus Ticketmaster Live Nation.
yes.
They got into a battle on Capitol. Did you watch any of this?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen any of it.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Who all's up there virtue signaling and saying stupid stuff, making them stuff like sounding dumb? All of them?
No. Apparently, and according to what the fuck is his name? Richard Blumenthal. He said that Ticketmaster / Live Nation should be applauded because this is the first time in years that both sides of the aisle have come together and agreed on how greedy and shitty their practices are. That Ticketmaster Live Nation has, I'm just going to say Live Nation now, that basically the entire U.S. Senate is against them.
Really?
Yeah. They think they're a monopoly. They need to be broken up, that there's no legislation in this field of business, and that
So it's
they
basically
aren't
what
playing
happened to the
fair
phone
and-
companies, except on
Yeah.
a grander scale.
pretty much, and that Live Nation is basically crushing any competition in that field, and they are not only are they fucking over musicians, and a bunch of musicians went up there and spoke out against Live Nation, but not only are they screwing over musicians, they're screwing over the fan base, and they're making these tickets reach points to where they're just completely unacceptable. And part of it also
We can
falls-
attest to this.
Yeah. Part of it also falls on the way Ticketmaster handles basically touring altogether, and basically marking up rental fees for facilities, and basically the tour fees for all the props and stage and all that crap. Is they're making it harder on the artist too. The artist can't afford it, so then it goes into the ticket price. Well, then Ticketmaster wants a cut of the ticket price, but they're already getting paid for all this other shit too. It's just a complete racket and monopoly, and that's what all these musicians were going up there and bitching about. And like I said a few months ago, it took Taylor Swift to bring this to the attention. Pearl Jam went up against them in the 90s, and it really didn't go anywhere. But now there are a ton of musicians that are saying, you'll either won't see me on tour ever again, or I will try to go with another company, a local company that is for whatever that region is when we go on tour. And you said something earlier about the Mr. Bungle, their little short West Coast tour they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're probably going to see a lot of more bands
Doing
do
that.
little regional tours. That way they can hook up with regional ticket outlets. But Taylor Swift has said she's never going to work or do anything with Live Nation Ticketmaster again.
Dang, man.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So they're just going to probably go in and split them up, kind of like they did, what was it, Southwestern Bell and all that
Well,
back in the
what
80s, or was that in the 90s?
the grip that Live Nation has on that industry
It's like no
is
other.
insane. You're a band. Stink Flamingo hits it big and needs to do a tour. Well, Live Nation goes, okay, we'll take care of everything for you, and they literally do. I mean, it's an easy handoff process to go to a company like that, because they will arrange the tour for you
Mm-hmm.
and arrange the venues for you and fit you into their schedule. It's a full 360 deal.
Right.
They take care of the entire tour for you.
and
But-
everybody else in the industry. So it's like a full service.
Yeah, you end up
They
paying
control everything.
out the ass. But they own. There was a deal that was brought up in I think it was Nashville, maybe it was Atlanta, but it was talking about how every single venue in that city is owned by Live Nation.
Golly, man.
Every single venue,
That
every single
blows.
stadium, for the sporting events to the music venues, they own everything or
That
have
blows.
control of it.
That sucks.
Yeah. And maybe they brought up a few cities, and I think Baltimore was also one of them because it's right there by DC. How they have control of everything, and they're like, "This is just stupid." I don't know what's going to happen. There are a bunch of protests outside. People.
Well,
Pissed off,
hopefully a lot of these musicians will bring it back to what you were just saying, local
doing their own thing.
companies and stuff, and stepping back in time a little bit and doing it the
Well,
way it used to be done.
And that could affect us here because Live Nation owns a ton of venues in this city, either under the Live Nation name or the Ticketmaster name. And so when you start seeing like a band go on tour and they don't have a Dallas stop or a Fort Worth DFW stop, that could be part of the reason
Because we have so much of it here.
because there's not a large venue for them to go in. And we've talked about this on the show. When Dickies Arena was built, part of that whole thing was that Ticketmaster would not be involved with Dickies Arena. Well, then
Someone got hosed.
the rodeo needed a place to call home.
You cowboy.
I'm a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy.
I'm a
You
cowboy.
cowboy. You gonna be a
PBR
cowboy?
needed a place to call home. All this shit needed a place to call home. It's like, well, if you want this stuff here, you're going to have to partner up with Ticketmaster. And now, there's
Yeah.
a few shows that come through there that aren't Ticketmaster Live Nation related, but that somehow that contract works on. But for the most part,
You're probably going to see a lot more bands just hitting WinStar
yeah.
and just doing it there in that conference room.
But we
of
have
a
a
concert.
brand
arena.
new venue that's ran by Live Nation and Tim Love, the Tannehills. There is talks. I don't think I can say this. There's gonna be another venue built in Fort Worth, but it's gonna be a Live Nation venue, and there's plans for it. Gonna be close to the Stockyards,
Oh, yeah?
and it's gonna be a big venue, and it's gonna be another freaking Live Nation Ticketmaster venue. It just sucks. It sucks. The only place around here that isn't is Nokia,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it's called over there in
Nokia 3410.
Grand Prairie. I don't know what it is now. The SunTrust Bank Theater of Fun. I don't know. It sucks. We should start a big venue. We should start our own venture
Should.
and be just completely crushed by
Just
them
got to
and
make
lose
sure
all
that
our
we
money.
stay on top of our tickets and stuff. Like we'd have to watch and crunch some numbers, man.
We'll reach out to bands like Pearl Jam,
Hey man, when you play
Hey,
for $200,
Ticketmaster.
we'll pay your bar tab too.
Ministry posted
I'll give you a carton of cigarettes as well.
today. Ministry posted on their Instagram the show they played at Numbers down in Houston, which is a badass venue. With KMFDM opening in 1990, $17.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ticket stub says $17.
I remember I went to a Stone Temple Pilots Meat Puppets show at back then. I believe it was still Smirnoff. It wasn't. It moved. No, it might have been Coca-Cola. I can't remember. But anyway, $20. And I remember thinking, "Wow, I'm paying a lot for a show."
The second time I saw Garth Brooks was at Reunion Arena, $35, and I was like, God, that's fucking expensive.
That's cowboy right there, man. That's
There's
cowboy.
And
Seen
then
Garth Brooks.
after that, U2 at Reunion Arena was something like $30. It's like, God, this is fucking expensive. And then Pink Floyd, $25. Like, please bring those days back.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, might happen.
Might happen. I would like for a band to just show up and play at a big venue. You don't need a big production. You don't need all this screens and shit. Just show up.
It's like Pearl Jam does.
If you're
They
good
do that a
enough,
lot.
Like, I was actually shocked that Rage Against the Machine had that much production because that
Mhm.
was a band that didn't bring. It was just them. They'd play, but they had a big screen and all that video and stuff, and camera crew and all that crap. But just show up. Say you're doing a show at AAC, just show up with a stage and play. Not a bunch of fancy, crazy bullshit. Just strip down raw and go.
Right.
And charge $20 a ticket, $25 a ticket.
Well, these musicians and artists aren't dumb. They'll figure it out. These people will figure it out. What they'll adapt, and hopefully they'll do something like that. Start taking a page from the '90s book of music history.
We got to get these festival tickets down too. And speaking of tickets,
Do we need so many?
Speaking of tickets,
Do we need so many festivals though right now?
nah, they're not fun. They're not fun
Man,
anymore.
I remember when you had Ozfest and you had Lollapalooza, and that's about all you had to
Perfect.
worry about.
Edgefest.
Now you got an Edgefest,
Edge
and then
Festival.
and then Freakers Ball. I guess I would consider that one a radio station one.
I spent more time at Edgefest than Freakers Ball.
Actually, yeah.
Hang on.
Now there's too many festivals.
We don't need
Need to cut back on the
Indian
on the
Headdress
festival.
Festival. What's that called?
Whoa.
Coachella.
Yeah, we
Everybody
need to
shows
we
up
need to
up there.
cut
We
back
don't need
on the licenses to do a festival. There's too
I
many.
didn't know Live Nation owned Bonnaroo.
Are you surprised?
I'm kind of surprised with the lineups, but I was shocked. I would love to go to Bonnaroo this year. It looks so good. That lineup looks fucking amazing. The band you were just
Yeah.
drooling all over that we were listening to MIDI files of, they're playing it.
I have to talk to you about one thing before we're done.
I wanted before we get off this ticket thing, I want to hit this. I'm not going to Vegas to see the Formula 1 race.
You're not.
Speaking of tickets, you're looking at to sit in the grandstands
This is
for
insane,
3 days
dude.
starts at $2,000 and goes up to $1 million.
That's just insane, man. That's like Hunger Games stuff.
Like,
Like the only people that can go to that are the elites.
have you seen that? What they're doing in front of the Bellagio? You see that video? The grandstands they're building there,
Yeah.
right there on the. That's where I'd want to sit. But I think that is the $1 million. I know the Wynn
It's got to
Casino,
be close.
where the Wynn is, and all they're doing. That was the $1 million spot. But you had a room for the entire week and all this other crap, and you got to go hang out in the
Yeah.
paddocks and crap. $1 million a person. But just to be in the skybox, the hospitality area at the start stop or start finish is $10,000.
Mm.
No, I'll just watch it on TV.
Yeah.
We'll have a little watching party
Right.
and we'll just chill and watch it. All right, that's into my ticket rant.
That's madness.
It's insane, and they're saying that
It's
this is going to be the premier event for the U.S.
the Vegas.
The Vegas one
race.
now. We'll have Miami, we'll have Texas, but the premier event is going to be this one, and this will bring for that week will bring more money to Vegas than the Super Bowl.
Where are they
will.
doing the NASCAR like little track? Is that in L.A.? They're doing it at Pasadena, that little Rose Bowl or
The
something.
one they always do, yeah,
Oh, they've done that for a while now.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know it.
yeah.
I thought this was the first
The
time
little
they did it.
short track thing.
Yeah,
They're trying to play it up like we're returning or something like that, but they do that once a year, so
I don't know. I stopped following it, but I got an idea. Freaking, let's do the DFW road track freaking F1 event where it's a freaking that one lap is around DFW. That'd be insane.
8:20 to 20 to 6:35.
Or just a race from Dallas to Fort Worth or Fort Worth to Dallas.
Why don't we circumnavigate Beltline like Rocco did?
Did he circumcise it or
Circumvented
circumvented? Yeah.
Beltline Road, which made no sense. means you're going around Beltline Road, but okay.
Imagine F1 cars going down roof snow.
Would never make it. They'd hit the railroad tracks and the car would obliterate, would just explode. They'd
Well,
hit-
the cops would be like, "Well, shit, got another accident over here at what was that place called that got
Stingrays.
Stingrays?"
It would also, like, if you started at this end, like, we're going to start at Black Rifle Coffee and we're going to go north. By the time you hit Dick Lewis, the car would explode. Just
Yeah,
wouldn't even make it past the Taco Bueno. Wouldn't make it past Sparks. The car would explode because
Yeah, it wouldn't
the
be good.
road's terrible. No.
They got some potholes.
They got some potholes. Which, how long are they going to close down Vegas, the Boulevard? The Strip,
probably from now
to
till
get this ready?
yeah. I'm imagine it's probably getting close to being closed, don't you?
It's not till November.
Oh, I thought the race. I thought they was at the beginning of the season this year.
No, it's not
They're
till
still
November.
starting in Miami and then coming back around, and they're gonna hit it when
they're
they
not
do the
starting in Miami. They're starting in
the-
Bahrain. But
Miami is
Miami is the first U.S. and then they
then they come
zigzag
back.
all over the place.
Yeah,
then they come back to Texas,
yeah.
go to Mexico, go to Brazil, then to Vegas, and then over to Abu Dhabi, I think, to end the season out. I think it's the second to last race.
Man, that's gonna
It's
be a
Vegas.
fun season.
Yeah,
You don't like my DFW to like Dallas
to
cutting through Watauga?
come through. We could do it. I mean,
You got to go through that beer barn. That's like you have to
that
go through
beer
that.
barn's great. Beer barn's awesome. I thought you had something. Then I have one last thing.
Oh, what do you think about these Ghislaine Maxwell? Freaking her doing interviews now from the.
Prison? I haven't
Prison.
seen any of them.
I haven't either, but I heard that she's pretty much like claiming she knows for sure that Epstein was murdered. Like she really believes it. It's like, tell us something new.
Everything points to that. The
Yeah.
guard just happens to be told to leave. Two guys come in there that don't work in the prison system.
I think he's had
sit in for
I
a little
think-
bit
I think she's also made some remarks about that Prince and the girl that was involved in that, the picture that she's in.
with the butt cheek pants. That Prince.
No, I hope he's not on the list. That'd be disappointing.
Prince would not be on that list.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe when doves cry.
Nice. I haven't watched anything of her. Ghislaine is another name that makes me uncomfortable.
Ghislaine.
I always pretty.
It's that guy walking to work under the Bank of America
Yeah.
building.
I always jizz pretty heavy, so never lean.
Ghislaine, man, it's that new drink that's got the it's the scissor. It's
I can get it from.
yeah,
never
it's
mind,
the
I'm not saying
codeine.
that
It's the
guy's name.
codeine. It's just, I think he's gone.
No, he's not.
He's not.
I watched
Maybe
some
he
shit
blocked
today.
me.
He throwing around a knife like he's Scorpion. It was
Oh,
pretty
man.
weird. For people that follow that guy, they now know. Oh, that's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah, I haven't watched any of that. I don't know. Nothing's ever gonna happen. I mean, it's like pointless. Like, who cares? Like, meh, whatever. like,
Yeah, whatever.
what's gonna happen? She could say a whole bunch of shit, but nothing's gonna change. Our government's still gonna be full of pedophiles. We still have a president that molests, gropes women. Who's that?
That's him.
Oh.
It's my impression of oatmeal brain Biden.
You still have the Clintons running around doing whatever the fuck they want, murdering people left and right. Nothing's gonna change.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've reached the point in my life where I don't give a shit about any of those
Just
people.
like, meh, whatever.
Meh, whatever. I got my own life to live. I can take care of my own shit. I got places I want to go and things to see. I don't give a fuck about Hillary or, Bill's about to die.
Well, man, this thing with old Biden though is really getting interesting. Though I will say, it's you're seeing some American history that might go down in the next few weeks.
All these people have top secret documents in their house. I bet
Mhm.
you everybody in Washington has a piece of paper
For
in
sure.
their house that says top
Yeah.
secret on it.
That's the thing is this to me this looks like the Democrats saying "F you" to Biden. They're like, dude,
They're done.
they were like, they didn't know that he was gonna really seriously probably run again and everything. And then now that he's actually, we're coming up on the State of the Union address where they think he's gonna announce that he's running. All the Democrats are like, we are fucked if he runs again.
So who do you have run in his spot?
I think what everyone assumes is Gavin Newsom or Obama's wife,
Huh.
Michelle Obama. Go on.
Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom. What's... Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom. Welcome to California. Stick a dick in your mouth. Isn't that the way it goes?
Something like that.
Like when you get off the airport at LAX. Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom. Welcome to California.
You think Michelle's gonna have one whenever
stick
you
a dick
go
in your
into any airports in the U.S.?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I have no idea. I got slapped on the
do
wrist.
a shot real quick.
I got out of Michelle Obama.
Want to do a shot? Well, that's gonna get deleted.
You got Obama.
That's gonna get deleted. Wow.
You're the one over there going dong with your.
That's getting
screen.
deleted. Well,
That's weird.
we were doing some Fort Worth podcast with
Visit Fort Worth.
Visit Fort Worth, but yeah,
Hey, we just tell it how it is.
delete.
Well, if you want to be racist,
It's not. It doesn't do it any good anymore. Remember, we used to it went
bong
bang.
was hard. Pantera have been removed from 2 festivals in Germany because of what Phil did in 2016.
Oh,
They're bringing this back up. There's a Green Party, or there's a party over there called the Greens. They're a center-left political party in Nuremberg City. And their argument is the fact, I'm reading this is their quote, the fact that the band Pantera is planning their reunion in 2023 of all times, and
he's
wants,
doing the 66 thing.
is that what it is?
2023 would be like, I know that there's some kind of significance to 88, the number 88, and like 66. I think, I don't know.
So it says,
Maybe I have looked at too much conspiracy stuff.
it says their reunion in 2023 of all times and wants to celebrate it on the former Nazi party rally grounds clearly exceeds the limit of what is
Whoa.
bearable. So Rock M Park and Rock am Ring take place in Germany. They're big German music festivals,
Yeah,
but they
have some
are
history.
in
Germany.
Germany on fairgrounds that I guess Nazis once used as rally points, but you can't hold that forever. Pantera has played Rock am Ring before and Rock in the Park or Rock M Park. So all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm pretty sure there's some pretty extreme metal bands that actually are Nazis or support the Nazi party that have played both these concerts if we go back and look in the past.
I'm sure there
Especially
is.
some hardcore black metal bands that are
Mhm.
super white supremacists. But what they're bringing to light is what happened in 2016, which we've talked on this show about the whole salute at the Dime Bash and him saying white power because of the wine he was drinking.
White
or
lightning.
White lightning, white
Or some
drink
wine,
or
yeah.
whatever he was drinking. And that was giving him power on stage, or whatever that loose leaf excuse was. But these were going to be the 2 first European shows of this reunion tour, and now they can't. They're not going to be able to play them. They've been removed from the festival.
So who's gonna sub in for those 2 shows?
Die Tottenhausen,
Hmm.
who's a shitty fucking band.
Okay.
I hate that band. If there's a band to hate, it's Die Tottenhausen or Totenhausen. I don't like those guys. They're not cool. They're stupid. I've never gotten into them. I was given one of their CDs for free one time from another friend when I was in high school who's like, "You need to listen to these guys, man." And then he gave it to me as a joke. And I was like, "This is the shittiest shit I've ever heard in my life. Why did you give this to me?" He goes, "Ha ha ha, pass it on to someone else." They're horrible.
These guys?
Sure.
Well, whatever.
I guess. Well, I mean,
Whatever.
Whatever. They're not that great.
Mm.
I'm not a big fan of them. Bunch of stooges. I'm sorry if we
They
have
do
fans
anything,
of them in the
do
chat
they do
room.
anything that I would know?
They did some.
Oh, dude, they played O'Reilly's?
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, so that explains it. That band is taking Pantera's spot. They played O'Reilly's in North Dallas, a place with drop ceilings where if you sling your guitar in the air, it will stick in the ceiling. A bar that asked us to play everything
I think
we
they
had
still owe us money.
and to basically play our set again because the out of town band that was supposed to be headlining
Ditched.
wasn't there yet. And then they ended up ditching, right? Isn't that what
Yeah.
it was? Yeah. They walked in, looked at the place, and left.
Did we do it?
The only thing we did was we played all the stuff we had instrumentals written for. We hadn't written lyrics for.
So we didn't go in and play our set a second
We
time?
didn't play our set a second
Damn
time. We're
it.
like, this is stupid.
That'd have been awesome.
No, we didn't do that.
We think we
Yeah.
did so good on that last set. We're going to play it again.
But they're a German metal band that's been, or a German punk band that's been around for 40 years, and they're just awful.
Well, I guess we won't interview them on the Fort Worth interview show.
Well, I doubt they would be here.
Well, if they do come,
I would love Rock Am Ring is one of the shows I've always wanted to go to. If we're gonna like be friends of festivals,
look at this cover band. The name of it.
Iron Maiden.
It's an Ozzy Black Sabbath tribute.
Do you say it Iron Maiden?
You have to, man.
It's got to.
I
be,
don't
right?
think this is the
Iron
same
Maiden?
band, dude. There's no way. These guys are playing O'Reilly's again, or they just played on the 13th with Iron Maiden.
Let me see how it looks. That's Die Unnamed,
Oh,
not Die Tottenhausen.
I was like, these guys?
I don't even know who that is.
That's Die Unnamed.
So
Sorry, guys. I confused you with a different band.
headliners for this show at Rock and Ring: Rise Against Limp Bizkit on Friday night with Fever 333.
Rise Against and Limp Bizkit? That's interesting.
Pretty good, huh? Saturday is Kings of Leon, Tenacious D. Saturday I could do without, except Gojira's playing, and so's Hellstorm. I'd see both of that.
Yeah.
The Distillers, if they actually show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incubus,
Gojira.
Evidence,
See,
Evanescence,
Gojira and Incubus.
Papa Roach. Yeah. And then Sunday, headlining Die Tottenhausen, Bring Me the Horizon, Machine Gun Kelly, Architects. Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't really want to go to this shitty fucking festival. So fuck them. Fuck you, Germany.
Yeah, you ditch Pantera, we ditch you. We're not coming out.
Friday's the best night. Meshuggah, Motionless in White.
Have you listened to that Meshuggah album yet?
Yes, I saw them play it live.
Oh.
You were out of town.
Yeah.
That show.
Did your huevos hurt?
They hurt. I kind of have PTSD, Vietnam flashbacks from it. Like, I will sit there and I'll think about that show and be like, what the fuck happened? I don't understand.
Would you take some drugs or something
You don't have to take drugs to be
to enter the spirit
pummeled,
world?
pummeled by them.
You really don't.
Pummeled.
That's actually an accurate term in regards to Meshuggah's
Yeah.
music.
What's the big metal festival that's in the castle?
Is it Wiccan?
Yeah.
Wiccan? Or there's
No.
Hell. There's the Hellfest too. Isn't
It
that
looks
in the
like
castle?
Whackin' Open Air,
Yeah.
but it's Wiccan Open Air. I just wanted to see who was playing there this year. Let's see if it's better than the other one. program. I need this to be in English. Acceptable?
Would you be okay with Prong filling in those two spots?
Dude, their new stuff sounds good.
All their stuff sounds good.
They got a new track out. They're fixing to release a new album. I was like, yeah. Or they just released a new album.
The last full length that I
Fucking-
listened by them was really good.
And it's Vakken open air. It's
Vakken?
not whacking. It's a Vakken.
It's not whacking.
Deicide,
In.
Anthrax,
In.
Beartooth. I'm going through the bands I know. Dropkick Murphys, Drain, Enemy Inside, Dying Fetus.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Maiden, Immolation,
Mm-hmm.
Ginger. They were just here.
Ginger.
Yeah, the Ukrainian metal band that had to seek exile out of the country. Kill Switch,
Mm-hmm.
Cataclysm, Creator,
Mm-hmm.
Legion of the Damned, Megadeth,
Mm-hmm.
Pennywise. I'd like to see Pennywise
Hmm.
again. I haven't seen Pennywise in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Pentagram. See,
Mhm.
Satan's coming. Satan's coming to
No,
the
I didn't know he was booking shows.
if, the place over in Amplified Live.
The devil.
Yes,
He
he's
booked a show?
playing- Yeah. Trivium. Don't give a shit about. Uriah Heep. Don't care about. While She Sleeps. War Donut. I don't like any of these festivals.
That's what I'm saying. We got too many festivals right now. We don't need any more. We need less festivals, not more. We got to go to a like they're talking about breaking up. They're doing something with Ticketmaster and everything. They also need to go ahead and fix this festival situation we got.
How many times can I see Gojira this year? That's my question. How many times can I go see Gojira? Bonnaroo. Kendrick Lamar on Friday. In?
Yeah.
3-6 Mafia.
Yes.
Portugal
course.
the Man. Fleet Foxes. I'm just bouncing through here. Okay, neat. Second night, headlining Odessa, Little Nas X, Korn,
Okay.
Rainbow Kitten
I'll check out
Surprise.
Korn. Especially if they're doing old stuff and not trying to be like renovated Corn, I would definitely have to see that.
What's
show.
really weird is Korn is being pushed to small font for that day.
Wow,
Is that weird?
freaking Corn, man.
It's weird. Jenny Lewis, and then on Sunday, your headliner is Foo Fighters.
Okay.
This will be their first show back. No one they haven't. I don't think they've said who's playing drums. Paramore, the Pixies, Peach Pit. There was someone metal in here. I thought Gojira was playing this. I don't know.
Maybe they'll kick Paramore out and put in Gojira.
You know, now
There you
that I
go.
look at this,
I don't want to go to that
I
either.
don't care. Whatever.
Whatever.
That's it. I'm done. Whatever. But yeah, that's that. That's
If I
that.
score you tickets, that's exactly how I'd like for you to respond to me. Hey man, I got us some sweet ass tickets to Bonnaroo. Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
One of those cruises, the ones we always make fun of, actually looks really good this year. One of the
Is it the
metal cruises?
Mastodon and Lamb of God cruise?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That'd be
"Oh,
fun."
We could do that. Hey Troy. Imagine how much
Let's
Hey
talk
Troy
about
would be
some
working.
basses, man. You guys like them Squire basses?
You
You ever played
gosh.
on them Squires?
Sure. I just don't want to go to. It only goes from Florida,
To
Miami,
Galveston?
Florida to
Galveston.
Bimini, Bahamas. That's a 20-minute flight.
If there's one cruise that someone's gonna die on, that's one. Like someone's gonna die on that cruise, right?
I think so. Is this one it?
Doesn't like every cruise have a death?
Well,
or every
isn't
once in
that
a while?
what they say? It's a code something,
Yeah.
and it's a death.
Yeah.
and they basically just
code Mr.
store
Stiffer.
'em down in a little room of
Just a
ice
fridge next to the
that's next to the
sushi.
regular ice, and it's in the kitchen somewhere. Is
yeah,
where
it's
they
right
store
around the
body.
cilantro and carrots that they chopped.
Mm.
Right next to the ranch, the bulk ranch that we got.
Right there on the. Oh, we're gonna miss it. It's this weekend. It's Shiprocked.
Shh. I want to go on Sammy Hagar's. I bet you he has a cool cruise.
Nope, it's not Shiprock. Never mind. You think so?
I bet you he does.
I want to go on his TV show. Hang out with him.
That'd be cool.
It'd be cool, right?
I'd be down with some Sammy time. Susie, it's on the list.
Get Sammy on. See if we can reach out to Sammy Hagar. He can come in here and play.
Just tell him we like to party.
He can tell the story of my favorite Van Halen song about how he was trying to bang this chick, and then Eddie Van Halen showed up at his house and was banging on the door and beating on the door.
You've got
and
more
he's like-
questions.
They came down and they wrote the song real quick, and then he went. They needed words for it, and he walked back upstairs, and she wasn't into it anymore. And he's like, "Come on, baby, finish what you started."
You've got questions about the whole setup, like everything about that evening.
I need to know about this.
You've got questions.
And you'd be like, not that great.
No,
Dave was
I-
better.
Well, we could get him too
What if we sat down, Dave and Sammy, and had
together.
just talk it
Ooh,
out?
Man, that'd be wild. Be awesome.
I couldn't handle. There's two people I couldn't handle having an interview with.
I think I could handle it.
It's David Lee Roth. He's too weird.
Just gives
I've
you
heard
too-
him on other stuff.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
gives you tired
"Say,
head.
speed
riff.
about-
Yeah, he never finishes his sentence.
I was an ambulance driver, and I went to all this stuff, and
Yeah, he never finishes his sentences.
And you're like, what?
He's actually very, very intelligent. You want to hear what he's saying. You're like, hey,
That's
can you
the
slow
problem
it
with
down?
ADD.
Can you slow it down a little bit? Like, do half
Half speed.
David, half David right now.
Yeah, just
Just do
be.
half David.
I don't need the spoobity bop.
No, we don't need.
I don't need you to.
No,
Yeah, you
just
know.
leave that at home when you're here. To answer
I don't
the
need you to
questions.
reach down between your legs and ease the seat back. I need you to be.
No, that's fine.
normal.
That's fine. He can do that
He
in
can?
that slow of like that cadence and how slow it is. That's fine.
Well, what if
But
we
once he
needed to
starts
take a break?
like when he starts doing that stuff in the middle of his stories, that's when we're like, "Fuck!" I want to.
If we needed to take a
blow my
break,
head off.
He'd go one break, coming
Shit,
right
add
up.
Yeah, dude. If he started just beating us down with that, that's,
Yeah, I don't. And then the other person, Steven Tyler. I couldn't sit down with him.
yeah, he's kind of the same disease. We'll talk forever.
Well, and you also have to set up the room. When he went on Joe Rogan, he had to bring all this
Like,
paraphernalia to surround him with, and have the room set up.
that would be a beating.
And I
Like,
don't
he had to
know.
put a bunch of old lady scarves all over our fucking studio. That would
Did-
suck.
Did you hear who? You know, he got in trouble a couple weeks ago for some
Ruh-roh.
young girl
Uh-oh.
in the 70s or something. You know, when everybody was doing it,
Oh, yeah.
when it was just the thing. There, yeah, it was some. The girl wrote a book, and it alludes to it being Steven Tyler. It doesn't just come straight out and say it was, but people have put two and two together and the timeline and everything, and it's when he-
Boop.
yeah. It was when honking on Bobo was going on. But Tim Allen this week, did you hear Pam Anderson came out?
Yeah,
her book?
Yeah, that's. I don't like that. That sucks. If it's
What?
real?
He walked around. He was in a robe
He's-
backstage, and then just flashed her and said, "He said, this is for you because I've seen you naked so many times."
I figured I would return the favor.
Yeah,
I don't know. That seems kind of predatorial to me.
how many
A
times
bit.
have you
I just done that.
attributed
A fa-
Pamela Anderson?
just at an event. Hey, and a set.
I was talking about in magazines and pictures.
We're in the tree of trust.
We're in the tree of dust. Maybe
Not-
a video.
Not as many as you would think. That video.
I was more impressed with someone honking a boat
With his
horn with their dong than I
Yeah.
was. You didn't see much of her.
Yay.
I mean, she was like laying around. She did work on him. Did you watch the movie, the
I
TV
haven't.
show,
One with
the
Seth.
series,
Was it
Seth
Seth
Rogen?
Rogen? No, I have not.
and Sebastian? What's his
Bach?
name? No, the Winter Soldier
Yes.
plays Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
Talks to his dick. That seems hilarious.
I'll have to check it out.
And it's Jason Mantzoukas voices his dick.
Sounds out of control already.
It is out of control. It's completely out of control. That should have won a Grammy or an Oscar or an Emmy or Golden Globe, whatever the fuck they are.
Panthy.
A Panthy. Oh, and real quick, today everybody was throwing a fit that the Oscar nominations came out and a bunch of their favorite movies were shafted.
Whatever.
You know what? Maybe your favorite movie was shafted because it's not fucking good. Get over it.
Meh. Whatever.
No one cares about the Oscars anyway. I mean,
That I don't see how
Man.
like they
get over it.
yeah. Those big gift bags they get too, man. They can't be making money from the Oscars right now, right? There's no way.
It's like a
It's like
$40,000
2 people watch it.
tax.
There's like 3 people that watch it.
I used to know people that get dressed up for it. I was in California once on Hollywood Boulevard, whatever it is, Sunset Boulevard, whichever one it is that runs through there. When the Oscars was happening, I flew out the day of the Oscars, and those limos start lining up like at 10 a.m.
Oh,
to
man.
start letting people in, and they
You're
start
just trying
giving
to get
out
some
awards
Chick-fil-A and
early.
shit. You're just trying to go to your Chick-fil-A, get
Nope.
some biscuits, chicken biscuits.
I was just trying to get to the airport to get
Yeah,
out of there.
That sucks, man.
And it took like 30 minutes to go 2 blocks because of all the security. I guess that's what's bad about living on whatever that too. Anyway,
Well, it's been a fun show, sir.
it has been fun. Next week we're going to have more fun.
It's going to be more fun and prizes.
And I'll have more ideas for you. And you'll have things you'll want to
Yeah, I
talk
thought I was going to do some
about.
therapy today, but nobody emailed me any Dear Abby letters.
I thought that was we're gonna do that once a month, right?
Oh, okay.
Let's do that
yeah,
once a
let's
month.
do it
So
once a
yeah,
month.
if you need some guidance, some help,
Some voying.
some voying.
Would you like me to voy?
We haven't gotten any pictures in the mail lately.
We sure haven't got any
voy.
any voying pictures.
But yeah, if
Do you
you
like to
want,
voy?
if you need advice, if you need someone to talk to you and help you out with problems in life, email us. That's what we're here for.
That's right. And send us some money.
You know,
Wallet's getting tight lately.
we're just your favorite 2 dudes that are now
I mean, loose.
representatives of this great city we live in. And soon
We'll all be a lake of fire.
we will. And good night, God.
Yeah,
May God have mercy on your soul. Meh,
whatever.
Whatever.
I think we should end every show.
Meh.
Whatever.
Whatever. No one cares. I mean, what are you gonna do?
You know when you become truly free? When you have that realization, nobody gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck about you. Once you have that,
8% layoffs tomorrow. That's a lot of people. Well, what? 6,000 people? 10% would be 600 people getting laid off. No, it's. I think under this guy's like it's like 6,500 people.
AT&T only has 6,500 employees.
Under this guy, where the layoffs are going to be. In this department, in whatever. Let me free. Let my soul be free. Free at last, free at last. Hallelujah, I'm free at last. Get me out of here. I don't know what I would do. Have to build a podcast empire. All right. I'm going to. Did it snow? All right, I'm killing the chat room. Gonna go play in the snow. Snow.